Hello there.
General Kenobi.
So, this is our first time doing a podcast with a new fellow. This is the Raging Canadian himself.
Thanks
And
for having me, Brooks. You
you're
two
welcome.
going?
It's more Callum. He is the one who's hosting this.
Yeah, I'm recording this, and I suppose this podcast was founded by Brooks in the first place, so depends on the definitions. But Tyler is also known as the Raging Canadian. He was with us ever since the Stardust app days, and he's been a good friend.
Squidbear founded this. The Squidbear always founds. You know, that should be the crest, or the crest of the Squidbear always founds.
Yes, don't you know? The Squidbear wrote the Declaration of Independence. Why, he was the first man to climb Mount Everest, don't you know? He founded it all.
Yeah, and beneath it, if you go into the caverns, like full in National Treasure style, you'll find a Squidbear statue along with a ton of gold, like El Dorado style. Anyway,
Would it really be that simple?
I'm gonna steal
Yeah, I
him.
think-
I'm gonna steal the Squidbear of YouTube.
Well, the squid is always deep. Alright, let's get on to Game of Thrones. Dun, dun.
I think.
Bader ding, bridge, bader ding, bridge, bader ding. It is a fantastic opening.
Yes.
Absolutely, absolutely. That's just one of the most epic
Except
theme
that in
songs.
season 8, I do like. I guess we could start about the opening before we get into
Yeah.
the open. I mean, the opening, of course, is always phenomenal. But I kind of wish that, in a way, with how there's the Baratheon symbol is always in King's Landing from 1 to 7, but they never I wish it kind of hinted that it was the Lannisters who were behind, give a little nod to the Lannister colors behind the Baratheon symbol to point out that the Lannisters were always in charge post Robert Baratheon. But in the season 8 intro, which is the first one that is incredibly different tone, for the most part, than the other one, they do have a lion on the head of the Iron Throne, which indicates that the Lannisters finally rule with absolute, which they probably should have done in season 7. Just change the Baratheon symbol to a Lannister symbol. Just to keep the cohesion.
Well, they still do have to keep up appearances that they're ruling under the name of the Baratheon, because this whole regime wouldn't exist
Yeah.
if it wasn't for Robert Baratheon. So
Well, until season 7, because it's now fully Lannister, with, Cersei now queen and everything. Now that the Baratheons are all dead, including Joffrey and Tommen. Now it's Cersei, a full-on Lannister.
Right. Oh, by the way,
Very
we're
true.
not holding back on spoilers, everybody. So you have been warned.
No!
Yeah.
We're not. So this is only
yes,
for
this
those...
podcast will contain a lot of spoilers for the entire series and potentially the books and House of the Dragon,
Yeah, I only see,
and any other things. So,
All things George R.
here
R.
is your
Martin
belated
spoiling.
warning, everyone.
Yeah, you've been warned.
Yeah. You have been warned. Beware, for the night is full of dark and terrors. The night is long and full of terrors.
The night is still
might
young.
Paraphrase that, but yeah. So, you know nothing, Jon Snow. Then that I can say easily.
You know, that's funny. When you were showing me the show, Brooks, that's the quote you said, and then I said, "Oh, actually, I do know a few things," but then you were trying to insist on using that quote on me.
It literally became a meme.
I can understand
And
that. Yeah.
Callum used "Oh, you sweet poor summer child" on me when he told me about what was it again?
Oh, what was that for? Oh yeah, it was in reaction to the fact that you. Oh yeah, now I remember. It was because I brought up Asterix in the conversation. You said you'd never heard of Asterix. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, that's right.
Right, back to Game of Thrones.
And I wonder if it invented knowledge is power, if it invented that quote. Or if that was already a quote that predated the show.
I mean, there's a lot of popular quotes as you would with these pop culture phenomena, like
pretty-
"Winter is coming," "You know nothing, Jon Snow." Let's see, what other?
A Lannister always pays his debt.
That's the
I
one,
know
yeah.
we get it. I know. I'm like Bran, like I know Braun or Brandon, like it's hard to get them confused. Like Bran and the Bywater. Like I know we heard. All right, let's get on with
Yeah.
it. All right, the first season. Let's discuss. So, I was going to say something. Callum, take over.
Say something,
Well,
I'm giving up. No,
Season
okay.
1 really did get this show on the right foot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we heard about the pilots that it was absolute garbage, or it was like no, and they had to reshoot it. The pilot was they had to reshoot it because it was off-putting, it was unfaithful, and they spent $10 million to reshoot it, and it definitely helped. And then the rest of the series take off. Like it was, and you can definitely see that with the first episode with it was a bit off with how say the Lannisters more feel like background characters, and in the book they're remember that scene when the Maester died, or the second hand, no, the Hand of the King died. The Hand of the King died, and there was
Jon
that
Arryn.
wasn't in the books. That was just to give more leisure to the Lannisters, their thoughts on who's going to be that next Hand of the King. It's
Alright.
more for the most part in the books. I've read all up to basically when Arya was given Needle by Jon, so at least I know enough for the first episode to be knowledgeable in that. So it was mostly centered around in the books it was centered. There was the guy running away from the ice zombies or the Night White Walkers, and he was being beheaded. That was all there. And the whole thing when the Lannisters and the Baratheons came to Winterfell to meet Starks, but it's more extended given how the book could obviously be longer, or have little nuances. Is say John and actually Joffrey and Robb were all playing with each other as kids. They were all they were all playing with each other before, and I actually liked that before they would be at each other's throats and try to kill each other, that they were playing like they're kids, that
Yeah, I suppose that's interesting you bring that up, because there's a sense of goodwill towards all these different parts before everything goes wrong, as it were. Not just with the children playing, but also with the people talking. So it's kind of interesting how there's people of different age groups, getting along with each other in their own different ways, as people of different age groups do. Children, you got the playing, and you also have the perks of world building of being introduced to the big wolves and stuff like that. And of course,
the direwolves.
Direwolves, that's the one. Thank you, yes. You get the implication that the current King of the Lannisters and Ned Stark have know each other from way back when. They get along well, and you get the sense that if their ties are cut, all hell breaks loose.
Oh God, Bestie, I miss her and her tits.
Nice big tits.
Buck Addy did a really good job of portraying Robert Baratheon as a happy-go-lucky frat boy king with a temper, though.
All the characters are perfectly cast, mind you. All the characters are bringing it their A game, I would say. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
And we get to and also there was a bit of with how in the book it was how it was said that Bran always loved climbing on the walls on Winterfell. He always loved climbing up. So when he came across, Cersei and Jaime doing what, and in the book, it was definitely the same, but except differences that, Bran nearly fell off, and then Jaime catched him, and it was more at the point where he could drop him instantly, not just push him out. So he's more at that sense, and there definitely is the line, "the things I do for love," but he more just let go of him, and then he fell, instead of him because
Well,
I think
in the episode, he asked Bran point blank, "How old are you?" And he's like, I'm 10 years old. Oh, and he's probably wishing. I don't know. Wish you were a little bit older. I would feel a little less bad about this, but at least that's the vibe I got.
Ah.
But in season 1, you're supposed to hate Jamie.
Yeah.
Like at the start of Game of Thrones, Jamie Lannister is like an R-rated version of Shrek's Prince Charming.
Oh, yeah, everyone says that. Everyone says.
That's the first time I've specifically heard R-rated Prince Charming.
R-rated, but you are the first one who said R-rated. Okay. So it's like if Prince Charming screwing evil sleeping
hold
Beauty.
on, just to avoid copyrights, full credit to that line goes to Alt Shift X.
All right.
Yeah. He was the man who said that line, but it's an absolute perfect line.
All right,
So
fair enough.
I had to say it.
Fair enough.
So Cersei is basically evil Auroria, who is Sleeping Beauty. Like, if Prince Charming was screwing Sleeping Beauty, even more evil Prince Charming was screwing. So it's just kind of fitting, given how Prince Charming would say.
Strawberry flavor. What a taste.
More Shrek than Shrek. Game of Thrones is
Good grief.
I almost don't want to do it because he was my favorite character in the first part of it, but Tyrion Lannister, R-rated Lord Farquaad.
Okay, R-rated. Okay, in the book he is ugly. He has no nose. He is completely a bit deformed.
That hasn't happened yet.
I mean, no. Okay, we'll get to that.
We'll get to that. Yeah.
All right.
No, but like at the beginning, he still has his nose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't lose it in the show, but
Yeah.
He's
if
not
that
Lord
doesn't
Voldemort
happen,
yet.
All right, let's get on to the second episode.
Right.
So, Bran loses his legs permanently. He's a cripple forever, and it's nearly seen that he's dead, and everyone Ned
the
is going
beginning
off
of Tyrion slapping Joffrey.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
Oh,
Swear,
I could watch that forever. I would never get tired of it.
I would not be surprised if somewhere on YouTube there's just an hour loop of Tyrion slapping Joffrey. I would not be surprised.
Oh, what I could have that video to lull me to sleep each night.
In the book, okay, we're getting close to where my knowledge of the book is over. But in the book, It was specifically said that they were all responding towards like Bran's like near death. So I think is that in the show? Like I forgot.
After he fell, like he lost the use of his legs, but he was essentially in a coma, and nobody knew if he was going to wake up.
It's when Tyrion, like Tyrion and Joffrey were like commenting on what happened, like with the whole like pushing up, like the boy being pushed off, or like there's commotion happening and all that.
Right.
So in the book, but I don't think in the show, I think it's a bit more like out of context than that. It's just Joffrey acting like a brat and Tyrion smacking him. All right.
Yeah. One interesting thing about that scene that I don't think was in the book but added in the show was Cersei being in the room with Catelyn, talking about how she lost her first son.
Oh.
How she claiming that she had a legitimate son with Robert, but he didn't survive.
Oh.
Right, she's basically hoping she gets that Catelyn's boy pulls through. Like, almost makes you forget. She sounds so earnest in that moment that it almost makes you forget that she's like 50% of the reason that he's even in this room right now, and in this coma.
Yeah, and Jon in the book, of course, like when he first when he came up to Catelyn, like to see Bran before he left, it was Caitlyn was actually more hesitant, like egging him not to come in, and even willing to call the guards in order to see him off. But John was a bit more defiant. And in the book, as I read him, he has that main character Harry Potter vibe to him, like with the whole every time I read him in that person, he's like a more darker and edgy version of like Harry Potter in a way better yet way worse situation.
Yeah.
As if he was the main character from the start, even if Ned, even in the books, was the main character.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that is John is a lot more complex and dare I say interesting in the books. While Kit Harington did a fantastic job, the show did kind of simplify him into your just generic good guy.
So, have you read the book, Raging
I haven't actually sat down and read all the books, but I've seen a ton of videos talking about characters and plot lines that I have like a general idea of what happens with them.
Right.
I think we should quicken the pace of all right, we're going around. Everyone talks about the next plot line, so we can quicken the pace of it, so we can get to next season overall.
Yeah. I suppose to summarize season 1, we're starting to see mainly 2 plot lines come into play. Again, one of my pet peeves is that one particular plot line doesn't really come into play right up until season 5, but still crucial for the overall plot overall. So the bulk of the plot mainly set in Westeros. We're seeing the Starks and the Lannisters just get along, and the reason why the Lannisters have gone up north to Winterfell is for just to sort some stuff out, mainly to have Sansa Stark be married off to Joffrey, and for a few other reasons. And
well, actually, that was Ned who insisted on that, not really the Lannisters. The Lannisters only came
Robert Baratheon was the one who.
Yeah.
The main reason Robert came up here in the first place is because
he needs to do a hand of the king.
He wants him to be the hand of the king.
Yeah.
All right.
Ned doesn't really want the job, but so Robert's kind of trying to sweeten the deal here, like, hey, I'll make your daughter a princess.
Right.
That was just a bonus. Right?
Right. And Sansa initially accepted because she wanted to see the world and stuff like that. I mean, I can't exactly.
And also marry the handsome prince and become a princess and then a queen. Because she's read Sleeping Beauty, Cinderella, and a lot of Disney film. She must have a bad internet connection in order to watch Disney Plus. Now
Sansa Stark subscribed to Disney Plus.
And by God, we're going to discuss in autistic detail on how this show actively hates her for that, and actively tries everything in its power to destroy her for ever wanting that.
How dare you use Disney Plus? Subscribe to HBO Max instead.
And it's also one of the reasons why people like Bipsy Pop and their audience would absolutely hate this show.
Shots fired.
Pretty much Sansa is those kind of people.
Oh my days. Oh, man.
Basically, she's the naive girl who has to grow up real fast and realize that the world is not all sunshine and rainbows.
To quote
Arya, her sister, is a bit more catching on to that.
True words spoken by Rocky Balboa, or in Disney villain Frollo's terms, the world is cruel. The world is wicked.
And I am ugly. And that's pretty much it. We'll get to Tywin, but it's kind of Tywin's relationship with Tyrion in the book.
Oh my days!
Especially given how ugly he is. I can only imagine. I've not read him to the
Oh my days! Now I'm imagining Charles Dance as Frollo and
Oh my god!
You know what, Callum? Charles Dance would be perfect for Judge Frollo.
Oh yes! Yes!
I never thought about that before. I'm just, you know what? he is the absolute perfect man for the job.
Yes.
Disney wouldn't have the balls to do that. His justice.
It's Disney, if you do that, do not fuck it up.
We're on the talk of Disney and Game. So
Okay, enough of that. But I mean, I don't know if you guys know this, but the very first scene when you see Tywin Charles dance and he's basically gutting.
That's a real deer.
Real deer.
Yeah, that wasn't a prop. That was a real deer.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
He cut the skin, took the organs, dumped it in the bowl. He did that like 40 times in a row,
Wow.
and it didn't seem to faze him.
Whatever happened to that deer, by the way?
They ate it. Venison's great.
Well, the thing about the dead animals is that they're meant to symbolize trouble for the houses that they symbolize. Like in the very first episode, we see a dead dire wolf.
Because wolves are affiliated with
killed by a
Starks
stag.
and
It's meant
deer
to-
for another house. And so
That's
on
meant
and so
to be
forth.
symbolizing that. That's meant to be a hint for Ned. Like, you know what? As much as I want to help Bobby B, he should probably stay in Winterfell.
That
And
makes sense.
Also, that deer is pretty much Martin. Okay, the Martin killing that deer is him killing C.S. Lewis because Lewis always loved deers. So in that way, killing that deer was George R. R. Martin as Tywin just killing Lewis. Because I think he didn't like Narnia, right? It was definitely Lord of the Rings, but I think he hated Narnia also. Am I correct?
That wouldn't surprise me.
I'm not too sure about Narnia,
Well,
but I know,
a bit of a whim.
George R. R. Martin has always had some critiques about Game of Thrones.
George
No,
R. R.
I mean, Lord of the Rings. in particularly with Gandalf coming back to life.
Yeah, it's the matter. I think I was a long shot. Like
Says the person who allowed Jon Snow to come back to life. Anyway,
I always consider Lewis as a Baratheon. That's why.
Right. You know, it's kind of interesting. To my knowledge, Tywin cutting the deer wasn't in the books. I think that was added in the show to symbolize how Tywin gets his hands dirty with the deeds that he does. He's very practical in that way. I think that's why.
All right, how are we gonna go with this? Are we gonna talk about like aspects of season 1, or are we just gonna go with the plot lines?
I think
if we're gonna talk about aspects, then we should probably talk about.
Well, there's a lot of plot lines to talk about, Brooks, and there's one in particular that we haven't brought up yet.
Which
Daenerys.
is
we talked about the
Daenerys,
wolf,
yeah.
the stag, the lion,
For the dragons, yes.
and now, which funny enough, if you look at the Game of Thrones opening, in all four corners, you
Dragon,
see
the wolf, the
the
deer,
heads of
and
all those. Basically meant to symbolize they're the houses we're supposed to care about. Everyone else is just dressing.
Pretty much, yeah.
They're all house miners, and Dune also does the same thing, except Game of Thrones has the advantage of putting more emphasis on the houses.
There's various aspects to world building. Game of Thrones made itself explicitly unique with focusing on the political drama aspect, kind of thing, very unique, which made it stand out as a televised adaptation. Yeah. So, in regards to the Targaryens, yes, this is the other plotline that I mentioned. But yeah, again, my pet peeve doesn't really come into play with the rest of what's happening until season 5.
I think the reason why we don't talk about the Targaryens is because they could be honestly written out of the story so far and nothing of value have been lost.
Yeah, that is pretty unfortunate.
I know it's the point with Daenerys that she is of a house that's basically extinct.
Almost.
But you could write her out. Like that plot line. Even if that will do the show injustice for the plot, the end game they're trying to do, but you could do that.
I think maybe there could have been more ways to have them interconnect, like have ravens go back and forth and report, or just something, something. They could have done something with that. But anyway, the other plot line, basically, Robert Baratheon mentioned that he's almost wiped out all the Targaryens himself. with help, presumably, of course. We come over to Targaryens, to the extent that we know of, it literally consists of, for the time being at least, a brother and a sister. The brother literally sells off his own sister to be sexually harassed for the sake of increasing power. But slowly but surely, Daenerys wins over the people, slowly but surely gains confidence, slowly but surely makes bolder, riskier steps to gain her power. A lot of tragedy happens around her and the people she's grown to care about. And to make a long story short, in this one funeral pyre due to a recent tragedy, she emerges in, she's fireproof, and she brings out with the dragons. And that's when season 1 ends.
And
yes.
also her brother gets a 9.
Oh, yeah! That death scene.
I see her brother.
A crown for a king.
A clown!
I see her brother as pretty much the writers in a nutshell, the showrunners. I just see, like, compared to George R. R. Martin, he is Daenerys was the showrunners. What do you think on that, Tyler?
Oh my days.
What?
I think...
No, the showrunners. You know, the D&D as Viserys, the one who got his head crushed by the gold. Or head burned off. Like D&D. Like, they eventually screwed up the show.
Right. Now I get. I mean, people said it for you. People said it all the time that you shouldn't have gone ahead until George was finished his books.
Yeah.
Even though he still isn't finished.
Crying out loud.
And we'll get to my verdict of the show when we get to season 8. All right. That we just brushed off the Targaryen plot line because that's all we can really talk about, right?
Yeah. Well, we don't need to talk about the Targaryen plot that much because like the first season is just basically building Daenerys up as this scared little girl who was married off to a barbarian to basically becoming a queen in her own right.
Yeah, it's
like
quite a character arc, actually.
The first few episodes were basically, we start in Winterfell, we make our way down to King's Landing, get a sense of the world, and really get a sense of who the characters really are. Like, episode 2 or 3, like, Sansa figures out very quickly that Joffrey isn't exactly the nicest guy.
Quite.
But at the same time, she's a little bit, because she hates her sister a bit. So I think she's overlooks it. She is a bit in denial because she really is driven by her dream or her image of him. So
yeah, very true. And I mean, just as far as character goes, Sansa and Arya are like polar opposites.
Yeah, Arya doesn't even want to be a lady, which leads to her being sort of encouraged to learn how to fight, which leads her to meet the Spanish guy who says, "I believe the one god is death. What do we say to death? Not today.
Vilio Farrell.
Yeah, Vilio Farrell. Thank you. Yes.
First sword of Bravos.
Yes.
And also, when we get to King's Landing, we meet Littlefinger and Varys.
Littlefinger.
Yeah.
And Littlefinger is the Master of Coin. And we will get to why the Master of Coin, like, whoever by the end of the show, why they're Master of Coin.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Never mind the fact that he has the most punchable face imaginable.
The little mustache is.
Every time he was on screen, I'm just thinking, oh, I just want someone to wipe that insufferable grin off his.
I'm always up to something with my conniving Welsh accent. Always conniving, yes.
And that
he's responsible for everything.
Oh yeah.
Jamie in a way, actually, because he pushed Bran out of the window, which inevitably led to Catelyn being suspected of the Lannisters, and then inevitably to Ned not trusting the Lannisters enough in order to get himself in trouble, and then but Littlefinger did play into that.
So
which I think both Jamie and Littlefinger.
He had a pretty good idea of what they were going to do.
Jamie, Littlefinger, Robert Baratheon, Cersei all unanimously caused the suffering of the show to happen, if you understand the deeper lore of things, if I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yes, but there is one person who, above all, who kicks it up to 11, and it goes on way more than it should.
Would that be Littlefinger or Joffrey?
Sir Ilan,
So Ellen.
bring me his head.
Joffrey.
Joffrey, yeah.
Yeah, if
we'll get
even
the other-
Cersei, Littlefinger, Varys, and everyone is saying that was a stupid idea, then it was probably a really stupid idea.
Right.
Which inevitably came to the War of the Five Kings, which Robb crowned himself King of the North by Stannis came into play. The guys from the North Islands, the Greyjoy, and who were the two? Like there were three, there were two. I think it was.
Renly declared himself king as well.
Renly Baratheon, little brother to Robert Baratheon, and I guess Walder Frey too. I guess in a way, I guess he's the Lord, so I guess. Oh wait, no, the fifth one is Joffrey, of course. The fifth one's Joffrey.
Yeah.
I should note that I remember when I first saw, when a franchise gets popular and they'll when it's a book adaptation and they'll sell the book, but this time with the front cover to specifically advertise the adaptation at the time. I remember seeing a Game of Thrones book with, Sean Bean at the front of the Game of Thrones. That was the promotion for season 1, and people would say, "Oh, hey, that's Boromir from Lord of the Rings." And for those film buffs, we thought, okay, it's Sean Bean, he's gonna die. But even with that, I don't think anyone would have predicted he'd get killed off this quickly. So, yeah, you can make all the Sean Bean dying jokes that you want, but even if this specific role wasn't portrayed by Sean Bean, the statement of his beheading is made quite clear. This guy that was framed as one of the center protagonist type characters throughout the bulk of the story that you've seen so far, he's dead. What does this mean? No one is safe. Anyone and everyone can and will die at any given moment.
The novel appeal
Unless you
of
have
that.
water.
Yeah, exactly. And as the seasons go by, that loses its value. That really loses.
Yeah, I was gonna say 8 times out of 10, characters stay dead. Yeah,
making absolutely stupid decisions.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But we'll not get into that just yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, the whole thing was basically all season 1 is basically setting up where everyone was and how and where everything's gonna go for the war.
Yeah, and basically the moment Joffrey has Ned Stark's head chopped off, that's it. That's the barrier crossed, and the war is declared between the Starks and the Lannisters. And what's left of the Starks, they're all scattered abroad. They have to survive.
And political machinations get under play because before Ned died, there was a rebellion that people were playing against Robert, which inevitably traded off to the Starks. But I think that was all part of. I think, in truth, that was really part of Littlefinger and Varys's political machinations to get the Starks and the other houses into a war frenzy for who would be the best to take the Iron Throne. I think, if anything,
think that's more Littlefinger than Varys, Brooks, because one thing remains consistent about Varys, at least up until later seasons, is that as devious as he is trying to keep the realm from being in an absolute shit show.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Littlefinger's famous saying, "Chaos is a ladder," just creating absolute chaos is sort of his MO.
Right.
I think he staged a false rebellion, because I remember Arya did come across people who were coming when she was running around. She even spot a cat, but then she spot people who were claiming about rebellion, and I think that was just Littlefinger playing the toy of I mean, is that a bit of a stretch?
That was Varys talking to his talking to his Eastern contacts.
Oh.
That basically setting the seeds that he's still spoilers. He's still a Targaryen loyalist. And,
Oh.
and how fitting that Arya overhears this when she's literally hiding from them in the skull of a dragon.
Oh yeah. Which will come into play for some bit. All right. So I think we can now usher into season 2 with. I want to start off with that one pirate Salador who said, we're not going to make this war so you can rape the king. I mean the queen. I'm not going to rape her. I'm going to fuck her.
That's right. That's
I
right.
think she would let you.
You don't know how persuasive I am.
Okay.
I haven't tried to fuck you yet, have I?
Oh, I just love that guy. He's like the perfect small comedic moment. I was like, yeah.
All right.
And Davos Seaworth, the Onion Knight, he is the best wingman ever.
Yes, he's been the wingman to Stannis. He'll be the wingman to someone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I feel really bad for Stannis. I mean, if you've read a lot of the books, you'll know that there's a reason why people always quote Stannis is the Manus, but D&D, they really just did not like Stannis from the get-go and just did everything to make him look bad.
Okay. So we got the political and machinations, and I remember I did watch the first season when I was 13. So to watch the second season for the first time, Callum, you know this.
I know. This is still quite alarming to hear.
So for the second season, I've seen really 4 months ago, 4 to 3 months ago. To see the second season not as heavily dark or overtly chaotic as the first one, I think it took me off guard with how, especially with that scene where Tyrion was actively trying to make the wrongs right by everyone who screwed over Ned Stark. That surprised me that there was actually some justice or some people tried to do the right thing. When in the first season that felt very limited, no one, and that Ned
I
Stark
don't know, Brooks. I don't know so much about trying to do right thing.
I meant trying not the right thing.
It was more so showing Tyrion that he knows how the game is played and basically getting rid of people
I know
that he knows he can't trust.
It's okay. It's more what Ned should have done in a more realistic, less not idealist way. It was trying to do things that seem ideally right in the head, but of course you had to do wrong things in order to make it right. Because he did go after the people who did screw over Ned. He did, or in a way, I think. I correct me on that.
Yeah. I mean, I guess we could call that an added bonus because I highly doubt that was his main motivation, getting justice for Ned. Because at this point, Tyrion is still Team Lannister all the way.
Mm-hmm. But it's the matter. At least it's. I know it's not saying a lot, but I'm just saying it's not as okay, it is cruel, but maybe I'm just a little maybe I'm stretching it in my mind, maybe. Perhaps.
Well, it's not like you can't think that way. I mean, I'm sure Tyrion did feel bad for Ned Stark. I mean, a lot of people did, even though there was nothing they could do to help him. Mm-hmm. And Tyrion is a very complex character.
It's speaking of which, with his relationship to Sansa, especially in this season, and by God, through Joffrey, the showrunners and Martin are doing everything in their power to make Sansa's life a living hell under Joffrey, doing everything they can imagine. And there's this one scene where Sansa, what Tyrion said, "Do you need any help?" And Sansa's like, "I do not require any help." And Tyrion's like, "You might actually outlive us, Lady Stark." Yeah. And
yeah.
Was It was
I've-
a show of growth.
One of the best moments after Tyrion basically put Joffrey in his place.
Oh yeah, that was an
Which he
epic scene.
did
Yeah.
do that, only for that to backfire. I remember the one where he sent a bunch of whores to so he wouldn't screw over Sansa,
Oh, yeah.
only for him to have the whores screw each other, and then had him spank her,
With a
and then
very-
inject that
Yeah.
spike into her.
I mean, to be fair, he did think he was helping. He did genuinely think he was helping his nephew out. It was a moment where he just underestimated just how depraved he actually is. Like he even says so.
without Cersei
He
guiding.
even says those to Cersei. Like I was wrong.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah. I suppose even with that said,
It's-
I've heard it said that this season is the season of Tyrion Lannister. We get to know more about him, and we get to see his plotting and scheming. Because as much as you say Tyrion is willing to help out, support the Lannisters all the way, he's scheming in such a way to try to dethrone Joffrey because he really does not like Joffrey one bit. So.
Oh, we're forgetting the moment. Like, remember when we were talking about Tywin? There was the moment where, after that battle, Tywin made Tyrion hand the king. And you can honestly see Tyrion's face as you really do hate me, father. That you would make me hand the king to Joffrey. You really do hate me.
That was your impression of it, Brooks. I took it like he was surprised that he was giving him any amount of credit at all. Because after he says that, he's like, "Why not my uncle? Why not anyone? Why me?" And Tywin's just like, "You're my son."
I mean,
Like
yeah,
as much as Tywin hates Tyrion for his own idiotic reasons, he does recognize that Tyrion is a genuinely smart individual.
Yeah.
yes. But
And also, at this point, Jamie, his favorite son, has been captured by the enemy. So,
yeah.
and he wants Jamie to be his heir. Is like, so, okay. All I've really got to work with right now is Tyrion.
Tyrion,
So,
And Cersei,
so might as well put him to
he's
good
the
use
son.
and hope something good comes of it.
Yeah. But could you blame me for my first impression of that, given how Tyrion knows who's king right now. He knows who he has to work under. He knows. I mean, he doesn't know to the extent yet, like you said, with how he underestimated his absolute terrifying evilness. But he had to suspect something that sucks that he has to now work for his nephew. Because he knows Cersei enough to know that. And also, he heard about that it was Joffrey. I know he could always say that Cersei made him do it. But I think he would have the right knowledge to know that Cersei did not really make him do it. It was his own whim that he did it. So I think.
Well, he outright told her that when he came.
Tyler, your
Your microphone's a bit muffled.
All right.
Damn it!
There we go.
All right, here we go.
But he outright said that to her when he came to the small council and basically announced that, yeah, I'm basically acting prime minister for you guys because that's kind of what the hand of the king is. And he's like, yeah, you did nothing while your son chopped off Ned Stark's head. Now the entire country has risen up against us.
Mm-hmm.
It's like he knows that Cersei's, and that's the main reason why Tywin sent him there anyway, because he knows Tyrion can basically prevent Cersei and Joffrey from doing any more ridiculous, terrible shit.
Mm.
And making him hand of the king is the only way he's going to be able to do that. So.
At this point, are we only gonna talk about Tyrion and Stannis? Everyone else, Robb Stark, Jon Snow, Arya, even on Sansa. Are we only gonna talk about mostly the Lannisters and their plight against?
Well, well, the Lannisters, in particularly Tyrion, do kind of steal the show in this season. I mean,
Ah,
all of Robb Stark's battles that he keeps winning, they all happen off screen.
Green.
man
Yeah.
alive.
Oh, to subvert expectations. We can't have a game like Lord of the Rings where every battle we have to be in, we have to show it, right?
Plus, that would probably increase the budget, I
Yeah,
guess.
very true, but very true. But can we take a moment to acknowledge just how embarrassing the situation must be for Tywin Lannister?
In what sense?
He's the most powerful man. He's the most powerful and richest man in the country. He has never lost a war. He's basically the grandfather father of the king and queen. He's one of the most dangerous people in the world, and he keeps having his army get their ass kicked by a boy half his age.
Man alive.
Oh, yeah. It's Stark, of course. That is humiliating. Like, how? I mean, okay, so with Robb, he's on the blood vengeance, and yeah. Yeah, that is humiliating. And not only that, his worst grandchild is on the throne, on the Iron Throne. I mean, given that, of course, when he does come in, he's basically de facto king now. Like when he does arrive to save the day, he is pretty much the king, and Joffrey is just a figurehead. Something that at least he can at least sway his head over.
Yeah.
But for what?
Which everyone except for Joffrey acknowledges.
Yeah.
But for one season, Joffrey was completely king, with no one except Cersei really holding his grip. Which Cersei, even she did a poor job at that.
Quite.
She thought being his mother meant that he would listen to her. How'd that work out for you?
And also, so the big epic battle of season 2 with the Bywater.
There's very brave people at the gate. Let's go kill them.
Let's go kill them. And also Bran, Bronn, who basically who was named the hero of Bywater, and also it's funny about back to season 1 is especially with that. I didn't when I first watching season 1, I didn't really expect that subplot with Tyrion getting kidnapped and being held at Catelyn Stark's fingertips and them going to the Vale, and also Bronn coming in saving Tyrion's ass, and also saving the entirety of. Okay, well, most of the Baratheon forces were destroyed, but they did inevitably come to fight. So, also, let's talk about how Brienne of Tarth, now under Catelyn Stark, who used to be under Barley the Baratheon, the little brother of Renly Baratheon, and who went to Catelyn Stark and then went to Jaime, who of course had to hostage him as a bargaining chip for Sansa and presumably Arya. And I think that's what we're getting in season 2, because I want to bring this plotline up for season 3.
Yeah.
Was it this season where we got introduced to the Red Witch who got impregnated, then gave birth to a demon?
Yes.
That was Sandra and her shadow baby.
I remember just
Renly.
watching that scene, and just me and Brooks were reacting like, what the heck did we just watch?
Yeah. That was not pretty.
No, giving birth to a demon baby, no, no. And of course the demon baby assassinates this very important figure, which frames,
Renly Baratheon. He assassinates Renly
Baratheon, thank you very much. Frames Brienne of Tarth and Lady Stark in a bad light.
Ended very badly for everybody.
Alright.
Yes.
Whatever happened to that shadow demon?
Daenerys, of course, gets in shenanigans with these cults and kills them, and also locks a guy and a girl in a tomb forever, having them suffocate.
Oh yeah, yes, that's right.
Yeah, I don't remember too much about that plot line, but
Where are my dragons? That was another memorable line from the series. Yes.
yeah.
This was also the season where Arya Stark begins going into hiding and going on her rough journey on her own, well, mostly on her own.
And it's also when Jon Snow encounters the wildlings and kills a night, one of the Night's Watch, and then becomes a part of the wildlings.
Wouldn't that?
Corin Halfend.
Or Halfan. Who was the father of? I think was the father of that guy who simps for Daenerys.
Yeah. Gior Mormont.
Yeah, more months.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was.
Yeah, he was the father of Jorah.
Right.
Right.
So this is a season where like it was Sam who killed off the White Walker before Jon did, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was right.
Only by accident.
Yeah,
But,
he finds out.
But the very end of season 2 is where we first get a real look at the White Walkers.
Yes.
Yeah. That's right.
It was like that. The others were just zombies. The White Walkers are the blue ones, just pure blue, and we'll get into the origins on that. Don't worry.
The ice demons
Yeah.
obsessed with making art imagery out of corpses.
Pretty much, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This was also the season where Arya, in her disguising herself as a boy, Tywin instantly recognized that's not a boy, that's a girl. Decided to temporarily use her as a servant. There's this really
I'm convinced that he knew it was Arya.
Yeah.
Out of pity towards her and out of pity towards what she's lost, I think he would let her go. Actually,
that makes sense.
Or not let her go.
I highly doubt that.
Why?
This is the guy responsible for killing. Tywin's whole MO is like, if you're an enemy of his house, he will destroy you and everyone you're associated with.
I mean,
okay.
yeah, but
the reigns of Castamere
right,
is basically.
Well, I suppose the way I interpreted the scene was that I think, to be more precise on my position on it, I think he highly suspected this child to be someone perhaps like Arya Stark or something, but I guess he was having a lot of fun with the interaction, and
I don't think he would let her go. That was my mistake.
He knew that she wasn't a commoner, but
Right.
if he knew without a doubt that she was Arya Stark, he would have 100% and capitalized on that.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because remember, like back in King's Landing, like everyone is mad at Cersei for the fact that Arya basically disappeared, and nobody knows where she is.
Okay.
And they're doing everything they can to keep that quiet.
Okay, admittedly, since
That makes sense.
Okay, we'll get into his house motto when we get to the Red Wedding, but I can definitely... Maybe I've been a bit too sentimental with that, because I think I'm under the impression that he would respect Ned Stark enough not to... But yeah, he would instantly capture her. But how is he not smart enough to pick on that she's Arya Stark, at least? How is he not... Yeah. That's what I always wondered. If he isn't sentimental towards her, then why would he...
Well, Brooks, unfortunately, I don't want to say this. It's a book spoiler.
All the spoilers. Spoil.
At this point, with that point in the books, it's not, Arya does end up at Harrenhal, but it's not Tywin she's serving at Harrenhal. It was someone else.
Okay, that makes sense. In which case, that was a goof up on the writer's end, perhaps. It would.
I mean, the most it did was basically serve to humanize Tywin a little bit, showing that he kind of has a soft spot for children. I mean, they said that. Arya said that Arya kind of reminded him of his daughter
her in her loss of her father and being in this mess that he did not want. That in this mess.
I guess that makes sense as well.
In this mess of like,
I think he also just appreciated how smart she was and just wanted to
again,
talk
yeah,
to someone. He's clearly a man with a penchant for intelligent conversation, and he's surrounded by idiots who can't even outwit a teenager on the battlefield.
again, why
True.
he would respect Arya, know that she's Arya Stark, but not pin against her. Can you see why, again, like through all these things, the respect out of Ned Stark, given like how Ned Stark was actively participant in like Tywin against in Robert's rebellion against the Mad King. So again, he would have mad respect for Ned Stark, and also hate everything that his house has put on them.
That
Hate
makes
how the
sense.
Lannisters had absolutely thrown him in this chaotic conflict that he had no part in. This conflict that he wished never happened.
That makes
At this
sense.
point,
I
I think
guess,
he
but I don't think Tywin's the kind of guy who would have any respect for Ned Stark. I think he would just see him as a fool
True
who
enough.
got his own
I mean, yeah.
got his own head chopped off.
True enough. I should also note that he even views people of his own family as pretty much morons in many ways.
Except Tyrion, of course.
Except for Tyrion, of course. Yeah, except for Tyrion. I should also note that I've heard that in the TV adaptation, he seems to smile much more often than his book counterpart, but that's the only major difference in character, really.
Yeah, in the books, like it's said that Tywin smiled like 4 times, and all of those were for his wife. And after she died, he never smiled again.
Which, again, like, is because of Tyrion. Alright, let's get on to season 3, shall we?
Here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is at this point, Tywin again kind of steals the show.
Yeah.
Basically takes over King's Landing as the de facto leader. Rob Stark's army is basically in the dumps because thanks to Theon Greyjoy basically stealing Winterfell from him, it's really hurt a lot of his campaign. Not to mention the fact, and 2 other things, he's broken his marriage pact to Walder Frey, and his mother has let his most valuable hostage go free.
With Brienne of Tarth.
Which I'm calling right here, that is what cost Robb the war. Not breaking, because Walder Frey had no right demanding that from them in the first place.
Yeah. And I wonder about when Jaime said to them, John the Bastard, who you hate, when Caitlyn let him free. That was the reason that she didn't have Brienne of Tarth kill him, because he brought up John. So
I'm actually surprised that she didn't just kill him, because given her arrest of Tyrion in season 1 over basically what the shiftiest man in the 7 Kingdoms told her, which all turned out to be bullshit. I'm actually surprised that bringing up the one person she hates the most from there. I'm surprised she didn't kill Jaime outright. But
yeah, have Brienne.
But season 3 is where we see how complex Jaime really is.
And he lost the arm.
Well, he lost a hand.
Hand, not a hand.
I always get Lynn mixed.
But yeah, I mean, how tragic is it for him that everybody pretty much despises him and thinks he's a scumbag for what is arguably the noblest thing he ever did?
Ah, yes.
Remind me what that noble thing was again?
And not take any credit for it.
Oh yeah, to kill the king,
Not
yes.
take the...
I mean, it's really tragic. Like, if it wasn't for his pride being like, how dare you judge me? Like, if he had just freaking told someone why he did that, he probably wouldn't be the most hated person on the King's Guard. But that's also a problem that I have with the King's Guard in general. Just don't think, just obey. Like,
Well,
I
to be
don't really see the point in thinking there's honor in carrying out orders.
well, actually,
that you know are either immoral or stupid.
Well, actually, Tyler, if you look at medieval history, apparently knights were not that bright. I know that rhymes, but
what about I know that Robert wouldn't exactly put a golden medal on his armor, but at least under the Robert Baratheon regime, wouldn't he got at least a bit more respect for making way for Robert Baratheon? I mean, of course, he's a fat bastard. But, I mean, at first, maybe that could have gone over with how everyone forgot about the hype of Robert's Rebellion and that more on the fact that they allowed a fat bastard, which makes Jaime more hateable. So I think that's pretty much why he's hated. Am I correct?
now I'm thinking of the character from Austin Powers.
Yes. He would honestly have had rather...
I'm not sure. Like, Westeros is a world that takes its oaths very seriously, and like, I mean, Jaime basically committed the greatest sin that a King's Guard could ever make. He's supposed to protect the king no matter what.
Killing kin. That's also a no-no in this world. That is like the worst sin. Also, killing one's.
There's a lot of big no-nos that happened in this particular season.
Yeah, and there's one that lives on in infamy.
The Red Wedding. Yeah, let's get the elephant out of the room.
Now let's get on to the Queen of Shade herself, Olenna, or Tywin's
Lady Olenna! Yes!
Tywin Lannister and Olenna Tyrell would have made one hell of a power couple.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Honestly, the only woman who could probably make Tywin smile. The only who would tempt him to smile again.
Exchanging coy insults at every party would have been a delight to watch.
Man alive.
And plus, Sansa is no longer betrothed to Joffrey now. So she is with Marjorie and her grandmother, informing them how much of a monster Joffrey is.
And Lady Olenna, despite being affiliated with the Lannisters, she holds nothing back.
Yeah, she holds nothing back on anyone. I mean, there's this one scene where like Tyrion and Olenna were like it was with Podrick serving the figs, and she was like, "Get settled, good day." And like, wait, we were just talking. Like, where are you going? Like, what just happened?
Yeah, I mean,
what a woman.
I mean, she knew exactly what Tyrion wanted, and wasn't in the mood to humor him. I mean, she knew what he was going to ask her for, and she was already planning on doing it. So I think it was basically her way of being just like, I don't have time for this nonsense.
Yeah, she doesn't put up with anybody's nonsense, and it's so funny. This show obviously isn't a comedy, but Lady Olenna is the closest thing to comic relief that you get in this series.
And also that Salvador guy.
Also the Salvador guy.
Yeah. I mean,
right.
There's very few people in this show that are like legitimately funny.
Aye, and Olenna is
intentionally and not just by accident.
Aye, Olenna's just got this wit about her.
Speaking of people who are legitimately funny, let's take a trip north and go back beyond the mall, because Jon meets the Wildlings and Mance Rayder. And Tormund's Giant's Bane. One of the funniest characters in the show.
Yeah. A ginger!
Only a ginger could call another ginger.
Cal loves ginger.
Gingers are beautiful.
Yeah.
Kissed by fire.
Kissed by fire.
He is the most ginger of gingers, and they were climbing the wall, and also, Bran escaped Winterfell, which we've not covered like in season 2, and he's off. Oh yeah, we should probably bring this up too. So also, Bran runs into Ferb from Phineas and Ferb, as they both have
yes.
prescient visions, full
Oh, right.
Paul Atreides style, and Hodor is also there.
Hodor, that's another beloved character.
Hodor.
And,
Hodor.
and Bran's direwolf, and also, of course, Bran's younger brother, which is a Stark we all forget.
Yeah. Everyone kind of forgot about him until
The
when
Battle
was
of
it?
Bastards.
Season 6 or 7. But in the books, he's still very, very well remembered.
Right. There's multiple plot lines going on, and the reason why Bran Stark is on this specific kind of journey with a few of the Starks is that we already know that the Starks are scattered and are just trying to survive in general anyway, but there's a specific goal that Bran Stark is having, because as of lately, even though he's lost his memory of what happened after he got tossed out of the window by Jaime.
He'll remember that, believe.
Yeah, he'll remember that. But he's starting to have a series of powers related to being able to have prophecy and to see into the past, the present, the future, and just basically have all this prophetic insight. So he's sensing he's being called to a specific area located, dangerously enough, beyond the wall. Where
And he American tailed with Jon Snow. Like, they're both in the same place, and at least Bran noticed him. But John did not notice him. It was like a total American tail. It's kind of like that. With
Well,
stuff.
yeah. Well, he was basically stopped by the Reed children from getting his attention, and at that time, John was a little busy.
Yeah.
I'm a little busy at the moment.
I know, but it's like American tail. Like, like it's on the corner. They're in another corner. Like, oh god, come on, they're there, they're right there.
Man, there's something unique about that kind of tension in stories.
But things get pretty crazy for like this is the season where John really gets most conflicted about his loyalty to the Night's Watch.
Nothing, Jon Snow.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
No, that was after
Yes,
the betrayal.
yes, and the birth of one of the most famous memes
You
from the
know
actress who would go on to be his future wife.
Oh, really?
Yes, Kit Harington and Rose Leslie are married in real life.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, I would rather that in the show than what's coming up with Daenerys. We'll get to that. And
Awkward.
now we should get to the Red Wedding.
Here we go. Here we go.
This was one of the reasons that D&D wanted to make this series, because of how bloody, shocking, and awful it was.
Makes sense.
And to give them credit, yes, it was.
What? Wait, what?
To give credit.
To give credit to them, it absolutely was.
Yeah, absolutely.
Incredible.
It was incredible. Right.
Incredible.
Like, this is the equivalent of the Eclipse event from Berserk. There is, if you're paying attention, there's a lot of foreshadowing, and it's a pretty shocking event when it happens, yes. And this specific event...
And eventually it gets to the point where, like, it's too late to do anything.
Yeah, pretty much.
Actually, in the book, it never stopped playing. I swear. It is like that one episode in SpongeBob where Mr. Krabs lost his $1 million, and then the music started playing. And that's pretty much just Caitlyn in that show. Oh no.
Stop the music!
Everyone know is dead! Stop playing that music! Please!
And
I'm
meanwhile,
begging ya.
Walter Frey is just enjoying the entire show.
Man alive.
You swore by the gods that you son of a man, my daughter!
There are reasons why nobody likes the phrase.
Yeah.
The Lannisters send their regard. Fun fact.
That was a Bolton.
Oh, that was a Bolton. Lannisters send.
Also, we'll get to the Boltons, believe that too.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of Boltons, guess who lost his cock?
The guy who messed with Baba Yaga.
Theon Greyjoy.
Yes, and who took Winterfell and lost his cock.
Man alive, this show
Yeah.
is brutal.
That-
And two
Well,
Ramsay Bolton,
that's
the
that's
next
this
hateable
Callum
bastard.
is unfortunately George R. Martin's way of forcing rather than encouraging character growth. He takes away things from people that basically make them feel good about themselves, give them purpose or meaning or whatever. I know that sounds weird
Yeah.
given what we're talking about. Like basically Jamie losing his hand, he's one of the best warriors in the world. Without that hand, he can't fight anymore.
Ah,
More.
right.
I can barely fight,
With
apparently.
Theon, he was basically a glorified prisoner in Winterfell. Oh, and he was always insecure about that, so he would always sleep around with prostitutes to feel less insecure about it.
Now that you mention that, I'm noticing that pattern
Like-
throughout the majority of the characters. Like, Jon Snow, spoiler, loses his actual lineage affiliation, so he spends the majority of his time living as if he were a bastard. And you get all these losses, profound losses with all these different characters, like Bran losing his legs, but then like prophecy.
Oh,
and
no,
stuff like that.
Bran lost his leg, his father, his mother, his brother, and his humanity by the end of the show.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
There seems to be a theme of the loss throughout it. now that you mention it, yes.
and Arya too, as the Hound put it so eloquently to Brienne of Tarth. Her Anthony Eerie is dead. Her mother's dead. Her father's dead. Her brother is dead. Winterfell is a pile of rubble.
There is no safety. There is no safety.
Man alive.
I'm not going to say the last three words because it doesn't need to be said.
Quite.
All right.
But
I will say that apparently the only major difference in regards to the Red Wedding is that in the books, the Stark army put up a bit more of a fight, but other than that, there's not really much of a difference. It's a bloody takedown.
yeah,
Yeah,
the main,
and even
the only other difference with that, Callum, is that, yeah, they did put up a big fight and they did lose a lot of family members, but a lot of other family members are being held prisoner right now as collateral to make sure the other northern houses don't try anything against the Boltons.
And what do we feel about how brutal this show gets when a man has lost who died, and his head is shoved into his own direwolf's corpse head, and they killed his direwolf too, and then was mounted back on as a mocking trophy as they all hailed him the king of the north. And it was said that the mother of the children was deboned, de-skinned like a wild animal, and thrown into the river.
Man alive.
And we'll get to how Tyrion
And-
finding out that Robb and his mother and Catelyn Stark are dead, and Sansa finding out before he could tell her, absolutely destroyed because of that.
Yeah, and I mean, it was never that way in the books, but on the show, you get the sense, okay, given a bit of time, maybe these two actually will make a good couple. But after that,
But yeah, they were married. They were
but,
betrothed.
but after that, it's like, nope. It's like, yeah, there is zero hope that I'm ever going to make this girl happy.
And Tyrion, at least, still has his face compared to his book. Because even, like, with his destroyed face, it is nothing compared to his book. Like, it is... You can barely tell. Like...
Well, the scar does make him, as Marjorie says, the scar does make him look really cool. But yeah, in the book, half of his nose was cut off.
Yeah. So... Yeah, the scar makes him look cool, not terrible. It makes him look cooler, actually. Especially he lost it in battle. He, like, got in battle. So, honestly, yeah.
That's why when Cersei came to see him, that was the whole point of the line of, I wanted to see your face. They said you'd lost your nose, but it's not as gruesome as all that.
Ah, so
And
then you
also,
were doing.
Tyrion and Sansa were betrothed. We forgot to mention that. But also with, remember when he said that Tywin would not feel pity for Arya? It's when he had his whole, the house that puts family first will always be the house that puts the whims and wishes of its sons and daughters first. A good man does everything in his power to serve his family's position, regardless of his own selfish interests.
Yeah, not only
Selfish.
is
And that right there is what cements Tywin as an absolute hypocrite. Because aside from as he says, not killing Tyrion as a baby, every single freaking decision he has ever made has been his interest.
Desire.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah. I was
Like-
frozen. You know, he just said I was frozen today, and that would probably win the argument. I was frozen today.
I was frozen today. I think the Ice King would probably no, the Night King would probably say that if he ever said anything. I was frozen today.
Horrible. Yeah.
I've been frozen for 10,000 fucking years.
So yeah, at this point, Tyrion is proposed to Sansa Stark against her own will, of course. But much to Cersei's dismay, she is also set to marry somebody off to prevent the rumors of incest.
Sansa wanted to marry that Tyrell guy, but Tywin had
Loras.
Yeah, Loras. But Tywin had Cersei marry Loras and had her marry Tyrion, which is a bit of a step up from Joffrey. But Loras was really her idol, and he was a bit more of a prince compared to Joffrey, even if he was, let's say, not straight. So I don't think they would have been a good couple anyway. Or I think he was bisexual, so I think that he honestly would prefer men over women. After all, he did like Renly better than her.
He got killed off. How did he get killed off again?
He died with that goat demon thing. The demon killed him.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, that's right.
And he hated, and like Loras had to, of course, move on. And also, Loras in the first season looked like Miguel or Leonardo from Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah.
Right. I think that summarizes season 3.
Good thing the Hound came to his rescue before his big brother
Yeah,
decided.
and Loras. And the Hound saved. The Hound takes care of Arya, and also they were like the butt of the cult, and also the other Baratheon, Gurdry, also was kidnapped, like taken to Stannis, and also his leeches was over him, and he had sex with the Red Woman.
Oh yeah, and then she tricked him into that position, and then there was the whole usurper scene. Yes.
The sex part was really just to get him relaxed.
And Davos saved him. Oh, and he will be back. Girthy will be back. Don't worry.
I think we've summarized everything from season 3. Let's
move on to Daenerys. Daenerys finally gained some power with the army, and dragons are.
She gains the Unsullied. She gains her Maiden of Honor, Missandei. She reveals that she can speak Lyrian as fluently as Harry Potter can speak Parseltongue.
And that guy from Deadpool, who was the villain, sent for her. You know, the villain of... Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Dario. one of a number of people who keeps having his actor changed throughout seasons.
Oh, wow.
He did?
Yeah, the Mountain. He was... I think he was introduced in season 2.
Yes. No, season 1. Season 1...
He was a completely different character.
Right.
This is the part where she finally starts where she finally gets an army, starts conquering cities, and actually starts making her way to basically gaining power, while her dragons are slowly growing and becoming more and more dangerous.
Well, quickly growing by...
And now, that's season 3. Now on to season 4. And I'm going to mute myself. I'll be back, so you guys can talk.
Yeah, we'll talk about season 4. So, in season 4, let's recount the events again. So, Tyrion is married off to Sansa. In his drunken state, he almost gets into trouble for speaking against... Joffrey, but he manages to get away with it just because he's drunk and he can have that excuse. Very awkward yet still somewhat intimate scene between himself and Sansa.
That was Tyrion's wedding. That was Tyrion's wedding.
Tyrion's wedding, yeah.
Yeah, Jon Snow makes it back to the Night's Watch after barely escaping with his life.
Yeah. Climbing up the wall and stuff like that.
Tywin delivers the final insult to House Stark by melting down their Valyrian steel sword.
And giving it as a gift to Joffrey for his wedding to his new wife that he's been betrothed to. Yes, and on the wedding day, Joffrey, good grief, literally calls the new sword Widow's Wail right in front of Sansa freaking Stark.
He really was a cunt.
He really wasn't he? Wow, that was said by Lennon later season.
And it's arguable. It's arguable that Joffrey died. Game of Thrones died with Joffrey. It is arguable.
Debatable.
I know.
Debatable.
I don't know. I mean, even without Joffrey, we had another rather crazy, sadistic bastard to worry about. Who
Bolton.
I would argue is even worse than Joffrey.
The show.
Oh yeah, who's worse, Joffrey or Bolton?
No. Ramsay has way more agency than or competence. He has more like warrior competence than Joffrey.
Right.
Well, they're both crazy, sadistic psychopaths, but it's clear as day that Ramsay is a lot smarter.
True.
Or like that was the biggest weakness of Joffrey being as king. Like while he was vicious and cruel, he was also not very smart.
Yeah, very immature.
Which is not a good combination for the head of state.
And something you need to keep in mind with Joffrey is that his characterization makes sense when you think about it. He perceived himself as being raised by Robert Baratheon as Cersei as a parent, even though in reality he's the incestuous child of Jaime and Cersei. And he grew up with the privileges, thinking that he had the right to be king, and anyone who questioned him would, basically,
And yet, how funny that Jon Snow, who has grown up a bastard his whole life, treated like nothing, is actually Westeros' rightful king.
Ah, the character contrast. That's a great observation, actually. Yeah. That's interesting. That's very interesting, actually. It's like poetry. It rhymes. So...
Shut up, Jar Jar! Just to wrap up for Arya and the Hound are now basically traveling together because they have nowhere else to go. And it was nice to see Arya finally retrieve the sword needle that Jon gave to her back in the very first episode.
Yeah. So the Hound and Arya are doing their Skyrim traveling.
Normally, this show also kind of ended the trope of something really crazy or epic or terrible happening in the 8th episode. Because, like, in the 8th episode of season 1, Ned Stark loses his head.
Right.
It's the 9th.
Season 2 is the Battle of the Blackwater. And season 3 was the Red Wedding.
Right.
And this one, we get a battle with the wildlings at the wall, but they decide to kill off Joffrey in the 2nd episode of the season.
Yeah, I think it's the. By the way, it's the 9th episode. Every 9th episode, and I think it was at least with the 10th episode with the death of Tywin, maybe.
The season ends with the death of Tywin.
And arguably, that's when Game of Thrones died.
Arguably.
But
it's definitely where Tyrion's character died.
So people say. Some people say it was at the end of season 4.
I'll explain a little bit of that later.
I can understand that.
The whole purple wedding, as it's been called, that's not the official title. That's just what people are calling it.
Okay.
It's just interesting. Marjorie Tyrell was basically looking forward to a lifetime of trying to handle Joffrey, knowing full well what he is.
What? Wait. One other thing. Actually, it was said. Remember when Olenna was with Sansa and she was like complimenting her that no one should die. That it was horrible that Robb died. She was reaching to
Yes.
her hair, and in that piece there was a piece of poison. Actually, that was the poison right there. That there was a piece of, that she hid the poison in that little bead.
Yep, that's exactly right.
Clever lady.
Like, I mean, the whole wedding was basically building up to Joffrey's demise. It was just meant to show us one last time exactly who Joffrey is and why he deserves to die.
The spoiled brat that he is. And then, of course, Tyrion gets framed for the murder, even though we know now that it was Lady Olenna. But Lady Olenna is very cunning and very clever. In fact, I want to mention something before we move on. When this scene happened, me and Brooks was encouraging me to speculate as to who would have been responsible for Joffrey's death. And I speculated to myself, okay, let's think of this clearly. It could not have been any of the closest relations in the Lannister family. Definitely not Cersei. Definitely not Jaime. Couldn't have been Tyrion. Definitely not Tywin. They would have no motivation to kill off their own blood member like that and so publicly.
That's funny you mention that, Callum, because in the very next episode, Tyrion mentions to his squire Pod that he suspects his father may have been a part of it, because maybe he decided Joffrey was just way too much trouble for him, and his younger brother Tommen will be so much easier to control.
Yeah,
right.
even he even went up to like Tommen, like, I hope you'll be better than him, and basically Cersei knows that he's straight up insulting Joffrey and hoping that Tommen would be somewhat better. Like,
I mean, I gotta give him credit. I mean, he was basically insulting Cersei and Joffrey in that moment, but I did like how proud he was when Tommen heard his question with wisdom. Just like, yes, that's what I wanted to hear. Finally,
So,
I can work with this boy.
Thanks for reminding me. I don't think I even noticed that detail. Again, it shows some multifaceted. So I went through the thought process. I thought, there's no way that Tywin would have. I mean, I guess now that you mentioned that, that's an interesting motive. But I saw no.
We know now that he wasn't a part of that.
Yeah. I thought to myself that.
But I mean, let's be honest here. Why would Tywin really be part of that? I mean, that whole situation was embarrassing for him. He's at the height of his power, and him unable to do. Someone has basically taken out a hit on his grandson in public, and there's nothing he can do to stop it.
Yeah.
Like, he's gonna be fuming right now.
Yeah. Not to mention, Tywin has always been using Joffrey as just a headpiece, because Tywin's the actual ruler of everywhere here. He's just using Joffrey as a sort of a scapegoat kind of figure.
Yeah. Anybody with a brain knows that Tywin is the real power.
Yeah. So I saw no reason for any of Joffrey's immediate family to be responsible. So I suspected, if it's not the closest family, not even Tyrion, my suspects were thinking, okay, perhaps it's someone close, but not too close. Maybe someone like could it be Littlefinger? Could it be Lady Olenna? I suspected Lady Olenna because of her previous conversation with Sansa Stark about Lady Olenna noticing how Joffrey was such a jerk and needed to be disposed of, and I thought, okay, maybe Lady Olenna was somewhat responsible. Then we got clues later on that Littlefinger was involved. I was like, okay, was Littlefinger involved? He's not explicitly saying it, but he's implying he was involved for it. And then, so by the time we get to season 7 and Lady Olenna confesses it was her, I thought to myself, yeah, I suspected it was a such. Yeah.
Maybe
It's
watching that, I
it's
really
funny you
want.
mention that, Callum, because later on in that episode, Olenna basically confesses to Marjorie that, or basically hints that it was her. It was her who did it because she does the same necklace move on Marjorie as she did to Sansa.
Really?
And also,
Yeah.
she confessed the Littlefinger because she said we killed a king together. Remember?
Yes,
So
like
that's what really pissed me off because I really was building up. Really wanted Cal to be surprised beyond belief to see that reveal. I really, really wanted that.
I'm
to
too
happen.
observant. I'm too smart.
Yeah. And also about Tywin, if he were to kill Joffrey, he would at least do it in private. If
Yeah.
he ever had. If he thought he was too out of line.
yeah. It's obvious why Cersei would automatically blame Tyrion and why everyone else would, because everyone at this point knows that Tyrion hates him, and he's just spent the entire day humiliating him.
Quite.
So,
And
like, why wouldn't he be responsible for that? But like anybody who knows how smart Tyrion is would know, like, okay, this doesn't add up.
Exactly.
Like Tyrion's too smart to be standing there gawking like a fool while the king's dying.
but he did not kill Joffrey, but he wished he had. He wished he was clever enough. He wished he had a better
yeah,
plan.
that
He wished.
yeah that trial, even though it was a fucking kangaroo trial, everything stacked against him. Like that was just one of Tyrion's best moments. Like
And it's
especially at the end when Tywin is like so whoever the fuck it was. Oh yeah, Sir Marin, like take him back to his cell, and Tyrion's just like, no, fuck you and fuck your whole deal. I want a trial by combat.
And I love with the everyone involved, like Jamie, like, oh god, damn it, Jamie, damn it, Tyrion, and Cersei be like, oh, this could work for an execution. That could work, and Sir the Red Viper be like, how interesting. And then Tyrion just grinning like a devil. And then his father Tywin saying, you really are trying everything, even in front of the entire kingdom, to prove that you are my son in front of my face, aren't you? And he's like, yes, I am, father. Yes, I am. And speaking of the Red Viper, it's the first former Pedro Pascal before he became so popular.
Yeah, I was literally about to say that. Like after this role, like he freaking jumped into fucking everything.
Yeah, I don't know why they chose Pedro Pascal.
He became the Mandalorian from Star Wars. He's the new Mr. Fantastic.
He was.
He was in the Kingsman and a bunch of others. Like he just freaking took off.
He even
Like
met Nicolas Cage.
There's literally a meme with Thanos having the Infinity Stones representing different franchises and all the ones that
Pedro Pascal. There's several memes of Pedro Pascal. There's the one with him crying, and there's. He's a great actor. He's a great actor. He's just oversaturated these days. Yeah, he met Nicolas Cage. I'll give him that.
I mean, this was back in 2014 or 2015 when he was just starting to get popularity. It wasn't really until The Mandalorian where he took off. This was like just his first. It's kind of like when the actors before they're famous or before they're really famous, like none of those roles. Like, and by the way, what was his first role? His eyes were gouged out, and his face was smashed.
Yikes.
So I think the fans who actively hate Pedro Pascal for being in everything, just smashing his head in for being in everything.
Well, the problem with that is that he really did just bring that whole situation onto himself.
And Tyrion was like, you goddamn moron.
So, of course, Tyrion's in trouble, and not to mention Tyrion's own girlfriend, who has been very loyal up until he revealed that he had to be with Sansa because it wasn't his choice. She decides to betray him and basically backstab him.
I am the whore. I am a whore.
And so eventually there comes an opportunity, thanks to Jaime and the eunuch friend that Tyrion has, to finally escape. But before Tyrion can escape, he wraps up loose ends, starting off with noticing that his girlfriend has basically sold him out for Tywin. He chokes her to death, much to his own regret, and then takes a crossbow and meets his own dad,
In the
literally
book,
in the
it's
stool. Yeah.
supposed to be unsympathetic when like he was killing her out of a malice rage, and he was not at all kind to her. But in the show, it's trying to keep him sympathetic. Like, I'm sorry.
I mean, it makes sense in that interpretation because
mean,
we saw throughout the previous seasons. Yeah, Tyrion was sleeping around with a lot of whores, but Shay had a very intimate bond with Tyrion, sharing a lot of intimate moments together. So it makes sense for him to act this way in that specific scene in this adaptation.
yeah. Do you want to know something funny though, guys?
What?
Yeah.
It's the reason I say this is the part where Tyrion's character dies is because this is the part where his character takes a completely different route.
Yeah, we
Because
we know.
okay, there's major spoilers for this. So
Right. Spoilers abound. Spoil. Spoil.
I mean, we didn't discuss on this before. Like the main reason why Tyrion and Tywin's relationship is so awful because years ago Tyrion had a wife named Tysha who was just a commoner, or it was later revealed that she was a whore that Jaime paid off to basically make him feel
I heard
loved.
about this,
And
that
Tywin basically punished them both for that. Basically had all of his guards have their way with her and then sent her away.
Oh yeah.
And he has hated Tywin for that ever since. Well, the reason that Jaime actually released Tyrion was to say sorry for that because Jaime lied and was forced to lie because Tysha was not actually a whore. She was someone who genuinely fell in love with Tyrion.
Yeah, I heard of this.
And hearing this utterly breaks Tyrion, and he basically falsely confesses to Jaime that he did kill Joffrey, and that Cersei has been sleeping around with people behind his back. Like at this point, he's basically done with the Lannisters.
Oh yeah, and also there's a moment with Cersei.
So he sneaks up to his father's room and he finds Shay in the bed, and yeah, in that one it was it wasn't self-defense. She was pleading for her life from him, and he straight up murdered her.
Holy moly!
Yeah, it's like I said.
And then he goes to find his father, basically just asks him, what did you do with Tysha? But Tywin doesn't know and doesn't care what happened to her, so he just said, wherever whores go. And that's ultimately what caused Tyrion to kill him.
Right.
So yeah, like Tyrion just, and this one, like it was treated as basically revenge for just how much of a shitty father Tywin has been, but in the books, it's way dark.
Right. I suppose either way, it's about Tyrion finally getting the killing of his own cruel dad, as well as trouble with prostitutes. Those are the commonalities, I guess.
It's all of Tywin's failures as a person, as a father, basically coming back to fight him. And when he gets shot with that crossbow, like, just imagine what he's thinking right now. Like, seriously, this is it. The most powerful man in the world is gonna die sitting on the toilet.
Yeah, that's the
murdered by his own son.
Well, hey, look at the bright side, Tywin. You died on the throne.
And also, we're forgetting about...
As said in the books, well, he was in the right place for it because apparently Tywin had been there for a while. He was really constipated, and the crossbow bolt basically let everything loose. Yeah.
Wow.
Which also leads to the theory that Tywin was actually dying from poison because they believe because earlier on he had a breakfast with Oberyn Martell, the Red Viper, who's a master of poisons and hates him and his family. So people think that Oberyn actually poisoned Tywin.
Interesting.
With a poison that basically shut down his bowels.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
And so he would basically drown in his own crap.
Oh.
So at least Tyrion
Very,
probably...
very horrible way to die.
Oof.
So Tyrion... no, so the Red Viper did help Tyrion in a way. And
I
plus,
guess.
also about Cersei and Tywin. But remember in the episode, like in the same episode, when Cersei just straight up, out of malice towards her marrying off Dolores, said that she was fucking Jaime. Their own siblings are fucking each other, which is what caused them to be insecure to fuck, Shay. You know,
Yeah,
why
I mean,
fuck Shay? Why not the?
it's
Why
one of the only moments where Tywin has ever lost a verbal argument, because like that's the one thing that pretty much anyone can hold over him is his family legacy. It's the thing he's worked his entire life towards, and that one piece of information, if it ever comes out, even if people already know it, if it ever becomes public, that basically destroys everything Tywin has done, and everything he has worked for in his life amounts to nothing.
and only for his own daughter to validate that.
Man alive.
Just straight
Like,
to his
I mean, you can hear how much malice and how much enjoyment there is for her saying it when she says, "Your legacy is a lie."
Ooh, man alive.
Well, your legacy is a purebred lie. A very, very, very purebred lie. And speaking of which, Jaime fucked her again. Raped her again.
Oh,
When Joffrey was dead.
oh
yeah.
yeah, that's right.
By the
Right
way-
in front
by the
of
way-
Joffrey's corpse. What is wrong with these people?
Okay, guys, that did not happen in the books.
Oh,
I have no idea why they put that in, but that did not happen in the books.
Oh,
Okay.
D&D are screwed up bastards, that's what we know.
What the heck?
Well, they were basically building up Jaime's love for his sister as basically being an obsession that he can't
Control.
seem to shake off.
Very
Yeah, I thought he was
obsessive, very
good
impulsive.
now, right? Wasn't he
That's
good
that's
now?
why he said, "Why have the gods made me love a hateful woman?" They're basically treating his love for her like an addiction that he can't quite shake.
Well...
They've been doing it since
Cersei is-
childhood.
Yeah. In the book, they both swapped each other's clothes and looked exactly like each other, just so they could switch privileges with each other. Like, Cersei could know fighting, and Jaime can know how to be feminine. They both actively switched roles.
Oh wow.
Like, Cersei
They also started experimenting sexually when they were children because they shared the bed at that age. And a servant caught them doing it. They told their mother, and their mother basically separated their rooms. Is like, if you ever do that again, I'm gonna have to get your father involved.
I think that's why Tyrion killed her.
Okay, as Jaime says, that wasn't his fault.
No. I was being rhetorical. That's why, she was almost pleading for her to die because know that her children were fucking each other. I think any mother would want to die.
Wow.
Hands
So
of-
yeah, so just to get back to one last thing with Cersei and why she's so adamant about killing Tyrion, like, season 5 opens with a flashback of her visiting some witch who
Oh,
gives her a
yeah.
prophecy.
That's right.
Yeah, well, they left out the most important part of that prophecy. At the end of the prophecy says that when Cersei has lost everything, the Valancourt will basically choke her to death. And Valancourt means little brother.
Little brother.
Jamie.
So, and it's funny you should say that because Cersei is technically the oldest twin, so Jaime is her little brother.
Ah.
But she thinks this means Tyrion, and she is hell-bent on getting rid of him.
Ah, right, right. So he can.
So yeah, Cersei's entire life is ruled by her desire for power, her desire for love, and her obsession with this prophecy.
Nice.
Yeah, which we'll get to season 5. I think we should wrap up with Jon Snow taking on the wildlings, him killing his
lover. His lover.
Yeah, his lover.
And Brienne of Tarth
also
has an apprentice accompany her on her journey. They eventually meet up with the Hound. They fight over Arya, only for Arya to run off and go on her own journey to be an assassin.
And Sansa also basically marries Littlefinger in a way.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to think about that.
Moving on, season 5.
But no, wait. Daenerys. Okay. Daenerys. Well,
it's as much as I hate that, it was actually kind of refreshing to see Sansa finally start playing the game.
Yeah. Right.
Okay, she's not a silly, naive girl who never learns. She's actually learned quite a bit, and she's finally putting that to good use.
And basically, the happiest day of her life was seeing Jaime
die.
By
the way,
Joffrey died.
Yeah. The moment in the before this, when her aunt in the Vale, Lysa, who is obsessed with Littlefinger, he sees her.
And her son.
He sees him kiss her and threatens to throw her out of that moon door. I don't think a lot of people really catch this because they're focused on her about to murder Sansa. But Lysa basically loudly confesses that she and Littlefinger set the entire story in motion by saying she was the one who poisoned Jon Arryn, which started the whole series of events in the first place.
Oh, that was the first hand of the king before Tyrion. Or no, for Ned.
Yeah.
For Ned.
Yes. Jon Arryn basically raised Ned and Robb. He was like a father to them.
Right.
Wait, Robb Stark?
No, Jon Arryn.
Robert Baratheon.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Baratheon, yeah.
So, in season 5,
No, not yet. Daenerys. We still got Daenerys.
Why is there to say about Daenerys? She just gets more power and she...
Okay. It's... The dragons are she had to time out. There's some political intrigue with her dealing with the, unslavery and then, or the people who want slavery back, and she had to,
the Sons of the Harpy.
Yeah. I think we'll have to put that when we get to season 5, because it's going to play into that.
Right.
So, and...
But, yeah, she's basically learning that being a queen is a lot harder than she thought, and she's realizing that she can't just end slavery in a day and expect everyone to be fine and dandy with it.
Yeah.
And she's also realizing how much difficult it is to control her dragons.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, at this point, the oldest and biggest one, Drogon, has basically gone MIA. So, and for safety, she feels she has to chain up the remaining 2.
Yes. Meanwhile,
which hurts her because they're technically her children.
You're grounded.
And they're the only real children she's ever gonna have.
Should we stop here and do the rest of the half another time since we are recording?
I mean, I've still got about an hour to spare. We can continue on at least for the next several or.
I would love to continue on, guys, but it's 10:30 for me here, and I gotta be.
So we should stop recording here,
right,
and then do the other half next time.
All right.
And I know, Tyler, you're probably exhausted beyond belief.
Yeah, kind of.
All right, fair enough.
All right, so we are now on to season 5.
I love how you pronounce that, like season 5-0.
Yeah. And sadly, there's a very big reason why season 5 onward got such a bad rap. They just started running out of book material to adapt.
All right.
Now,
so
it should be noted that, at least to my knowledge, George R. R. Martin has continued on with book material since then. The book that he's yet to complete as of recording this is Winds of Winter.
On season 8.
So, season 5 to season 8 of Game of Thrones.
Where do we begin?
Start from the beginning, and when you get to the end, stop.
Alright, so the plot is thickened to the point where
you could literally cut it with a knife.
Yeah, you could cut it like a knife, like it's jelly.
Yeah, or through melted butter, like a jelly. It used to be like a solid cake. Now it's just like jelly. If we're making pudding analogies, So I mean, to my knowledge, as of recording this, George R. R. Martin has completed the book material all the way up to the Winds of Winter, which is the penultimate book of the entire series. But even then, he's yet to complete. Well, he's yet to complete Winds of Winter. Which is the semi-final book, and then there's the final book. So until George R. R. Martin completes what he originally intended, so many people sadly.
I will have thoughts on how George R. R. Martin pertains to season 8 of Game of Thrones. I will have thoughts, but we'll get to that when we'll cross that bridge. So,
needless to say, the man does like to take his time with his writing.
Good.
Yeah, spending his time in his house, like jumping in the pool and like jerking around, like at this point we sympathize with the people.
I mean, I shouldn't be too harsh on the man because I'm sure it's a lot harder than you realize. I mean, I imagine a lot of people, like, they sit down, they have an idea in their head, they start writing, and then they just get to a point where, like,
for 14 fucking years. 14 fucking years. 14
years.
I
know. But this is where I kind of blame the show for that, because the easiest way to make sure your story is never completed is to basically tell someone your entire plot.
Well, given that they did have access to George R. R. Martin, the man, who could have been a creative director, I'm somewhat forgiving, and hear me out on the showrunners, somewhat forgiving. They expected George R. R. Martin to have finished his, like, Winds of Winter probably by the end of season 6. So, given that he didn't, by the end of season 5, but given that he didn't, did you blame the showrunners for going at Titsy or, like, absolutely losing their mind over what to do without George R. R. Martin, like, with George R. R. Martin being completely vacant? Did you blame them?
in that
I
perspective,
can see how that would make sense, but it's like I mean I've seen interviews with the actors and actresses from season 7 to season 8, and it's painfully obvious that they're trying to put on a brave face and not just be like I hate my life. Like I mean a main example. Peter Dinklage as Tyrion Lannister. Like he was one of
Okay, at this
the
point, you're delaying
he went from being
inevitable.
one of the smartest men in the room to just making dumbass mistakes.
We are delaying the inevitable, aren't we? We just don't want to talk about this. We
well-
are delaying the inevitable here, aren't we?
Like,
if I'm to say one more thing,
let's just address the elephant in the room.
yeah, season 8 sucks. That's the elephant in the room. Yeah.
Not only is it way too short, it's way too rushed.
We'll get to that.
way
We
too
will get
floppy.
to that.
It's way too everything bad.
Yeah.
All right.
And
Well, that's-
the thing that stings me even more about it, in pertaining to the long night, which technically only lasted about half a night, my work was doing a big poll on who would live and who would die, and the main question of that decided everything was who was gonna kill the Night King.
Wait. They decided who to kill a Night King on a poll?
No.
On a
No,
pool.
this what we were
That
meant
was
to
his
make
money.
guesses
That
about.
was the,
My work was basically making guesses about who would be alive. And who would be dead.
Sorry. Right.
No.
Okay.
And the main question that basically decided everything was who was going to be the one to kill the Night King. Which, if you've seen the episode, we all know who that was.
Yeah.
And that cost me $300.
Good.
you got
grief.
robbed. You got robbed.
Yeah.
Oh my days. Oh, that's gotta be embarrassing. But my sympathies for you, mate. My sympathies for you, mate.
I lost that damn bet by 1 point.
Oh man.
Ugh.
Man alive.
And I didn't even really like Arya's character progression.
Let's save that. Let's get on to season 5. Talk about the plot points, shall we? Our thoughts.
When last we left off with season 4, Arya Stark left the Hound in a rather crippled state, having fought Brienne of Tarth, who was also looking for her. She's going out on her own path. And throughout the next 2 seasons, she's going to train to be an assassin by training under these sorceress.
The faceless men.
Faceless men, yeah.
Yeah.
So these like sorceress assassins who like take people's faces and they like literally like kind of become them in a way, just kind of blending in. But in order to get into the mindset of being such an assassin, they have to set up this mindset of I am nobody.
Yeah. The biggest problem with Arya's training progression is that she really doesn't understand the mindset of the faceless men. I mean, she obviously sees this as a way for her to get her vengeance on everyone who's wronged her family. I mean, she has that list of people she wants to kill. She announces every night, but like the faceless men are not just assassins who kill people for money. They're basically a cult who worship death and see it as sort of a gift.
Like a more extreme of Assassin's Creed, right?
That makes
Or
sense.
Less,
Yeah,
less-
kind of.
a much
It's like-
less
like,
libertarian.
they take-
much.
Yeah, they take a lot of care to make all of their assassinations look like an accident.
All right, and we have the Lannisters with Cersei interacting with the High Sparrows, this new religion.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also to screw over the Tyrells, who are now like actively trying to control her son, who is now, given that Tyrion is dead. Tommen is the only legitimate king.
I think you meant since
Joffrey
Joffrey's
is
dead.
dead.
No. That Tywin is dead.
Oh, Tywin. Sorry. We thought you heard you
Yeah.
said Tyrion, right?
Joffrey was a king, a non-executive figurehead.
Right.
But
Tywin was the real king. Yes.
Yeah.
Now that he's dead, now Tommen is the actual legitimate king.
Yeah.
So yeah, those are the consequences of his death.
Yeah.
Now that Tommen is, and Cersei's the only thing that somewhat has a chain on him.
I mean, technically, Tommen is, even though it's not official yet. Tommen is still technically a bastard, like Joffrey was. And here's the problem. Here's the problem. Like at this, near the end of, as we get closer to the end of it, Robert is dead. Stannis will end up being dead. Renly is dead. And Joffrey and Tommen had no real claim on the throne anyway. So the entire Baratheon line is pretty much muddled. So, like, if they really want to go by the line, who is supposed to take the crown after this?
We'll talk about that later. That'll appear later on. That in season 7.
Yeah.
Don't worry. There's gonna be alright. But as of right now, okay, no one gives a shit really if, honestly, in King's Landing, if Joffrey was a Baratheon or Lannister. They only care about because the power and influence the Lannisters have over, like, King's Landing. But now, since Tywin is gone, I think that power has lost its validity. That's why the High Sparrow has actually quite better power than, honestly, the Lannisters right now.
Well, yeah, that's like, if Tywin wasn't murdered by Tyrion, like, the High Sparrow would never have even set foot in King's Landing in the first place.
Hey, you know what I'm gonna do? Since seasons 5 and 6, the plot line of, like, the High Sparrows and the Lannisters, you know what? We're gonna cut the middleman and we're gonna talk about 5 and 6. When we talk about the Lannister plot line, we're going to talk about 5 and 6 completely. Like, we're gonna we're gonna do it all the way from in 5 and then ending in 6.
Makes sense.
It's just pretty much as one and the same.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So let's
basically this is the main start of the Lannisters' downfall. Like, now that Tywin is gone, when everyone is pretty much like scrambling to pick up the pieces.
Yeah. And
I mean, Tywin may have been respected, but he was not liked by anybody except a few members of his family. So most people, as Cersei said, most people are just coming to his funeral just to confirm that he's really dead. And then it's like, okay.
Yeah,
and a lot of people have quite a few bones to pick with the Lannisters.
Right.
And
hence the High Sparrows, right?
It's amazing. With everything Tywin put Jaime and Cersei through, that in the end, Jaime and Cersei actually cared for their father. Okay, maybe they care about him only because he was the power that was holding them all together, or they genuinely cared for him. And they hate.
Well, even if he was like a dick to all of his children, like, he was still their father.
Yeah.
I mean,
crap to them. So that, they are terrible people.
I mean, even Tyrion literally murdered him, and even he, on some level, still feels bad about that, to the point where he's in Pentos basically drinking himself to death.
Oh yeah, we should get to that. And I think now that the plot lines between Westeros and Daenerys are converging, we can now talk about Daenerys' plot line. Oh boy! Daenerys' plot line from now to fucking season 8. Oh, good lord in heaven. Oh, great. Yay! Daenerys is relevant. Oh no, she's relevant.
You know, I was actually thinking about this a while ago. Back in season 3, like in the beginning, as Tywin comes in to take control, and he basically has that conversation with Joffrey in the throne room, and Joffrey's like, why are you having all the council meetings like far away from the chamber, like without my knowledge? And then he asks him about Daenerys and her dragons, wondering if it's true. It's like, it's funny because as much of a piece of shit Joffrey is, like, he's actually behaving like a king here. He's showing concern for this growing threat, and Tywin is basically just telling him to not worry about it, shut up, and do what I fucking tell you.
Pretty much, yes.
And even that scene, every time, like, whenever Tywin is on, like, you could hear the reigns of Castamere, even if the song's not playing, because given that Joffrey was on the throne, it, like, and who are you, the proud lord said, that I must bow so low. See, it has that theme in there in that scene with how, like, you know, who are you that I should bow so low?
Thematically speaking.
And Tywin's answer to this is, I'm the guy who's gonna destroy you and everything you love if you don't.
But I'm your grandson.
Because that's pretty much his answer to everything that threatens his family.
I went to Joffrey in that scene, like, even in that, like...
Well, yeah, scene, like, I mean, Tywin was definitely being careful with his words there. Joffrey is still the king, so he can't just bend him over his knee and spank him and listen, you little brat, I'm your grandfather, you do what I say.
All right.
But by the end of it, he definitely made his point as like, listen, boy, I'm in charge here. So play ball, or I'll make things very hard for you.
Quite, yeah.
All right, should we talk about like Tyrion and Daenerys' plotline, or more Tyrion and who's the guy who originally sent for Daenerys? What's his name?
Maybe just call him the Dragon Simp or something.
Dragon Simp. Or should we go on the Jon Snow?
Jorah Mormont.
Jorah Mormont. Okay. Should we talk about him or Sansa's plotline with Ramsay?
In their tongue.
Or Jon Snow.
I mean, granted, both are fucking awful to deal with. I mean,
in their tongue, he is known as...
Jorah's just basically stuck in the friend zone. And refuses to accept it.
In their tongue, in their tongue.
So the fact that he's in love with her because she reminds him of his ex-wife is just creepy in of itself.
In their tongue,
that's
he is known as the Dova Simp. Dragon Simp.
Because he believed in her.
True.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like Daenerys did have a lot of redeeming qualities, but she is also capable of doing some messed up stuff. I mean, she's shown she's good at
burning stuff up,
conquering cities, and sicking her dragons on people, but she's not very good with dealing with men in masks. The Sons of the Harpy plotline was really tough to swallow.
Right.
Yeah,
but there is one plotline that is arguably even harder to swallow, and was almost never even going to be put into season 5 in the first place.
Which is
Dorne. Sansa and
Doors.
What?
Dorne.
Oh yeah.
The Sand Snake.
The Sand.
Oh yeah, it's the. Oh yeah, there's another plotline where Jaime and Bronn goes to save that one Lannister girl.
Marcella.
No, the Lannister.
Oh
Marcella.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. She's betrothed to the nephew of Oberyn Martell, who got his face crushed by the Mountain.
And you know, the funniest part is that when she was sailing away from her mother Cersei, she was not crying at all. I think she was happy in some way that she was leaving her mother behind, and to know that she actually fell in love with the what was the Tyrell? No,
Tristan.
not the Tyrell. Tristan.
Mar-
Yeah, the
Martell.
no, Martell, the Martell boy, that she fell in love with him genuinely, and she was probably much happier in Dorne.
I
She was
mean,
much happier.
that's a very rare thing with arranged marriages because
Mm.
most of them, kind of like Robert and Cersei, pretty much
Oh yeah, we
suck.
will get to marriages. We will get to marriages when we get to season 7. We will
I mean,
talk about
I mean
marriages.
the whole idea of it is a really awkward situation. Like
Mm.
your wedding day, you're basically marrying someone you've never met, and you're gonna
The
have to
irony.
sleep with them on the very first day you meet them. And then one of them is going to have to basically uproot themselves from everything they know and move away from home to a brand new place. It's a pretty
But
awkward.
ironically, that was the best thing ever for this girl. That was the greatest thing that ever happened to her. Because not only was she gone from King's Landing, which is one of the most corrupt place you can ever be, that probably has more people in it that want to kill her than anywhere she's in right now. And not only is her mother is a conniving bitch, and her grandfather's a tool, her older brother is a complete cunt. And also her other brother is more boring, but whatever.
Yeah, well, at least Tommen isn't going to skin you alive because he finds it amusing.
Yeah. But not only that, but she fell in love with the guy that she was arranged with. Actually likes it better than any place. But her dad had to come in and saved her, like, in a completely. It was kind of cheesy given that. It's kind of out of character
Yes,
for Game of Thrones
yes,
to have that.
it was very cheesy, but to be fair with what they set up, she was pretty much minutes away from being kidnapped and tortured slash murdered by three very vengeful women.
Oh, she definitely did. And before that, she knew that Jamie was her father.
Dun 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 dun
Yeah,
dun
she knew
dun
that.
dun dun.
And she was okay with it. Okay. And he was like, what? He was like, what?
Yeah, that threw me off guard as
Well,
well. You're okay with that?
If you really think about it, well, I mean, I guess you could make the argument that you could have made the argument that Joffrey, Marcella, and Tallman basically took after their mother, or if you thought that they were actually Robert's children, but like
No.
Ned basically figures out that they're illegitimate because he sees all of Robert's bastards, and like every single one of them has black hair and blue eyes, and they all kind of look like Robert. Joffrey, Tom, and Marcella, they don't look anything at all like Robert.
They're basically Lannisters and Baratheon drag. And I always get in my mind that Joffrey is a lion who genuinely thinks he is a stag. He's like one of those retarded lions who genuinely thinks he's a stag. Well, I think Tommen is just too blind to know that he's really a lion. And Marcella actually knows she's a lioness. She knows it is okay with it.
In this regard,
Yeah. Too
I mean,
bad Jamie got to enjoy being a dad for about 10 seconds.
before she died of poison.
She was poisoned.
Yeah, that's one thing that's kind of too bad about Jamie's storyline, because pretty much after he loses his hand back in season 3 and has to rebuild himself, like he spent more of his time like actually trying to be a better person.
Yeah,
like
and every time he has a conscience, this world always does one step ahead of him to ruin that consciousness. always one step
Yeah.
ahead of him.
Man alive.
Yeah, he just keeps coming back to Cersei for some fucking reason.
Quite.
Yeah.
Man alive.
I think
Addiction, I guess.
so. Also, the Tyrells like also were acquitted of being bastards, like by of being like okay, like the who's I think it's Radus Tyrell who was of being a homosexual and also of
Loras.
Loras of Tyrell, and I
Yes.
think
Marjorie.
Marjorie. Dorothy Tyrell, like welcome to Oz. Like you're not in Kansas anymore, Dorothy Tyrell.
We're not in
Marjorie
Kansas anymore.
Tyrell also got locked in also. So again, we could probably just go with if we're going to go spotlight, we could probably just go to season 6 like how it does. So and then they found out that Cersei was in love with her brother, or actually her cousin. She said it was her cousin. She had to confess that it was just to save Jaime from. But they knew also that her children were bastards. They also knew that.
Well,
They knew they were
everyone ironically has a lot of dirt on Cersei that they haven't been able to prove until now. But basically, Cersei was absolute fool for trusting this High Sparrow.
High Sparrow. Yeah, even that.
Okay, I'm gonna use you to get rid of the corruption, completely ignoring the fact that Cersei, you are part of the problem.
Shame.
In many ways, you are the source of the problem.
Shame.
And
shame.
Even Olenna, who pointed out that this was a foolish idea, trying to screw me over, and she had a full Kreia. Do you know Darth Kreia? Darth Treya from Knights of the Republic. She had a full Kreia moment with the High Sparrow, wondering about why he would serve the people when he's more serving himself. Like, I'm better at serving the people than you. So, we get to the point where Cersei her hair was shaved, her dignity was stripped of her, literally, and she was stripped down nude. Shame.
And then everyone's like throwing this food at her. And she has to go through the walk of shame if she has to get her power back after being exposed for her crimes somewhat. And once she gets through there, she manages to claw her way back up, and basically the High Sparrows are basically having a prominent amount of power in King's Landing for a vast portion of time. Meanwhile, the Sun is, oddly enough, despite everything, getting along with his new wife in the most nice way possible. But due to the whole buffoonery and cruelty of Cersei, the two of them are split up, and all kinds of shenanigans are going on there. And hijinks ensue to the point.
No, sorry, I continue.
Yeah, it's right. To the point where there's a very tragic end for the both of them, which happens at season 7? Yeah, it happens at season 7. Yes. So we'll preserve that for that. But yeah, basically lots of things are happening, and Cersei's getting back into power, and lots of things are happening. So that's that. Meanwhile, so as mentioned before, Tyrion's managed to get away from getting into trouble. His eunuch friend, you pointed out, Brooks, has a bit of a sudden change of heart, but at the same time, to be fair, the eunuch guy was always implied to have hidden motives, and I guess now that he's away from all the pressure of having to hide it, I guess it makes sense for him to appear suddenly kind of optimistic all of a sudden, to be fair. So...
Are you talking about Barris?
Barris. I always just kept calling him the eunuch guy because I kept forgetting his name.
There's a bunch of eunuchs. There are a bunch of eunuchs.
I'm sorry. I needed to clear that up because at this point there's 2 eunuchs.
Yeah.
And there's Theon.
Oh man.
And Grey Worm.
Yeah.
Well, technically there's 8,000. Well, technically there's 8,000 if you include the entire.
I was saying the Unsullied.
Yes.
Take note.
Let's just focus on the main 2.
Yeah, made it, right.
But yeah, Varys basically once he finally gets Tyrion out of the box, which he's been stuck in for God knows how long.
Yeah,
He basically reveals that ever since the rebellion ended, he's been working to try to get the Targaryens back into power. He's been secretly protecting Viserys and Daenerys this entire time. He's basically a Targaryen loyalist
there you go.
who wants them back in power.
And we will talk about that, how that backfires in season 8. We will get to that.
Even though, given all the evidence, especially since the last Targaryen king, that really doesn't seem like a very good idea.
Yeah, and every time a Targaryen
because everyone knows
they have dragons.
Everyone knows the Targaryens are infamous for going fucking nuts.
Yeah, every time a Targaryen is born, the gods toss a coin and the world holds its breath. Because there is a chance that it can be good or bad, and we'll get to the one good one.
I guess it's a pick your poison scenario. Either you go for the complete jerks or the Lannisters, or the Dragon Keepers who also go bonkers on occasion. Which do you want?
Yeah, cruel world. Cruel world.
So Tyrion is understandably skeptical of the idea first, seemingly thinking, I prefer to drink vomit and drink myself to death. But he warms up to the idea that Varys warms up to.
Yes, he has nothing else better to do.
Yeah, pretty much. So they go to a town.
Jorah kidnaps him. Because for some reason, he thinks capturing Tyrion will get him in better favor with Daenerys.
Even though Tyrion was also looking for Daenerys anyway.
But he thinks that bringing her...
to be fair, Jorah didn't know that at the time.
Right. I always thought that...
and also, just like, as I said, this is... It's part of why he's permanently stuck in the friend zone, because...
because he was found out to be working for Varys, who at first did want to kill her, and until he, was a loyalist to her, and then he was exiled for his treachery. Yeah. So, and lucky he wasn't killed.
Right. So long story.
The main reason that Daenerys even exiled him in the first place is because whether he meant it or not, he did. Even though he did save her life multiple times, he still put her unborn child in danger. And we saw how Daenerys reacted when her older brother did that, because he got a rather pretty golden crown.
Very pretty one, yes. Capturing the head.
Which by the way, I think that speaks volume to that Daenerys can be a little touched even back then, because she basically watched her brother get murdered in a particularly brutal way, and she doesn't even bat an eye at it.
That was one of the most brutal deaths of the entire show, mind you.
Yes.
And keep in mind they only had like one take for that scene, and they had to get it right. And thankfully, the scream that Viserys actor let out nailed it.
Holy moly!
All right. Wow. All right. So long story short, to end Tyrion and Jorah goes to Daenerys, and Daenerys is like, "What the fuck? Why? How can you prove this is Tyrion Lannister?" And Tyrion, of course, proves himself, and even Tyrion himself said that I'm probably a better chance of getting in favor with Cersei than you. I mean, with Daenerys than you. So this is not a very good idea, Jorah. Not at all. So, but
Jorah doesn't care, because he's basically Daenerys is making sure that she achieves her dream is basically his only reason for living at this point.
Yeah. And Tyrion and Daenerys meet for the first time. How ecstatic was that for like the fans of Game of Thrones when they first saw that? Were you one of those? Tyler?
I was pretty stoked about it, but later on I found out that the book version is a little bit different.
And that Tyrion's already
I
dead.
Because in the book version, Daenerys does actually indirectly see Tyrion, even though she doesn't know it's him. But he's doing some act with a couple of other dwarves. They're basically entertaining people in the fighting pits, and so ironically, when in the book, the very first time Daenerys actually sees Tyrion, Tyrion is riding a pig and doing a joust.
There we go.
Actually, that is kind of better. It makes more sense than, say, Tyrion being in the fighting pit. And the only reason he went with Jorah is because he's actually a good fighter. Or he was seen as a good fighter.
Like, but I mean, I did genuinely like his line. Like, yeah, he has brought you a gift. He was like, "Who are you?" I am the gift.
I'm Tyrion.
I'm the gift.
I'm the gift. So,
I mean, the talk that the two of them have with each other when they're just sitting at the table with wine is actually really nice.
I'm going to break the wheel. I'm going to break the wheel.
But like I like Tyrion's assessment of her, like, and of himself. Like, they are technically terrible people to terrible fathers.
Mm.
But what matters is, are you the right kind of terrible?
Yeah.
And
then
I think that's the entire premise of the show, that of the story that George R.R. Martin has tried to get across, because no one, at least in his actual story, no one is like pure good or pure white or pure black. Everyone is
not exactly.
is gray. Just a matter of who's less terrible than others.
Not exactly, because I think the book is more about how they focus on that over the magic really coming to kill everyone. That the throne is more the distraction, while the magic of the world comes to kill everybody.
By that logic, whether it be the books or the TV, would you say that Jon Snow is as well as Ned Stark, I suppose, would be the closest thing to quote unquote good guy, I suppose?
Well, yeah. I mean, in the books, Jon has done some sketchy things as well.
Yeah.
Well, but he is pretty much like the most noble. He is one of the most noble people in the story at this point.
Yeah.
At that point.
Sounds like the show did a good job of depicting him, because
let's wrap up Daenerys' plotline.
Talk about him for a bit, because a lot of stuff happens to Jon in these next few chapters.
Right. Speaking of Jon, we continue seeing him on the Night Watch and his struggles with the Night Watch party, as well as the wildlings up north.
And also him interacting with Stannis, and that they captured the wildlings and they killed the King of the North, or the wildling King of the North. And the wildling King of the North did not want to die being burned alive. He thought that was disgraceful. Okay. Oh, wait. No, my bad. He could have bent the knee to Stannis Baratheon or died. And he chose to die. And there's a line that he said, I hope to favor you in the wars to come. Which will be repeated in season 6 for some reason. To offer you fortune. So, and then the King of the North, the wildling King of the North dies burned alive, but then he was shot by Jon, before he could fully burn alive. So, and Stannis like, slap on the knee. You aren't exactly my man. You are only but a Night's Watch, so I'll let it slide.
Right.
So,
So,
Well, but then again, he did also basically say, if you bend the knee, I'll make you a star,
yeah,
and you will
which
be
is every.
and you will be Lord of Winter. Because remember, like the whole claim for Stannis even being able at this point, Stannis is technically the rightful king of Westeros.
Yeah.
If we're going by the Baratheon line of
Yeah.
succession, because all the other Baratheons are dead.
right.
Yeah.
But like he's only in this position because Ned Stark basically told him the truth about this, and Ned basically
yeah.
died for that. And
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure even though Stannis is kind of a flawed character himself, he has a lot of respect for that.
Right.
It's like-
Yeah, so why did Jon say no?
I don't know. Just that's I think that's basically what the show's building up to, like the idea
Yeah,
that
I don't want the
the
throne.
best
I don't.
people meant to rule are the people who don't
Yeah,
want power.
oh, we will get to that. We will get to that.
Suppose for the sake of brevity of time, I'll mention something that happens about the tail end of season 5, and then which kind of ties into season 6 because it's set in the same northern hemisphere. So Jon Snow tries to have a negotiation with the wildlings, but much to everyone's surprise, it ends terribly with the arrival of the White Walkers. So
And also Stannis Baratheon went to Winterfell to fight, to claim Winterfell over the Boltons.
right.
And which ended poorly with Brienne of Tarth killing him. And by the way, Brienne of Tarth also tried to save Sansa, but she said "fuck off" because you were in line with the Lannisters, which got her which she actively regretted when she was married to Ramsay Bolton, and she was reunited with Theon Greyjoy, and Theon literally
Reek.
watched her get raped.
Mm.
Reek, yeah, got it raped,
Ah.
and they both during the Battle of Winterfell, or the supposed onslaught of in Winterfell attack,
Alive.
both Sansa and Theon both killed that one lady who was with Ramsay, and then they jumped. Apparently survived, but they both jumped. Either suicide, death would take them, or they would live. They live or die.
The snow
Because
must have
they
been
would
very
rather,
thick.
honestly, jump
Apparently,
off of
there's a lot of
Winterfell.
snow outside of Winterfell.
Very thick
So-
snow.
Yeah. She would rather die on the front porch of her home, ancestral home, than ever go back to Ramsay.
Yeah, Ramsay is the personification of everything cruel in Westeros. He did chop off Theon Greyjoy's penis and takes deliberate joy in excessive
And
torture.
flays a lot of people.
Yeah.
He played that one guy. Also with Theon.
Yeah.
Being like a Trojan
I'd like to
horse
take back
lifting-
something I said before. I'd like to take back something I said before about almost everyone being gray. Ramsay Bolton, Joffrey Baratheon, the Mountain, and another character who we haven't talked about yet, Euron Greyjoy. These four
Yeah.
people I would describe as being bottomless evils.
Yeah.
There's
And also-
absolutely nothing redeemable about them, and they deserve to die.
Yeah. And Ramsay Bolton, Ramsay Snow was made a legitimate Bolton. And finding out that Jon rejected being a legitimate Stark, but Ramsay was made a legitimate Bolton.
The
Well,
contrast.
that is technically what Ramsay has always wanted.
Right.
Yeah.
Character contrasts.
Again.
Speaking of Jon Snow,
Alright.
Jon Snow encounters the undead, well, or the dead in this case.
Night King.
Na-
The Night King.
Yeah, stares
Yes,
down the
the
Night
Night
King. This is quite an introduction, and I must say, something I quite like about how this villain is presented is that he establishes his aura and his threat without having to say a single word. That's quite impressive, actually. He doesn't have to say anything, and yet you get, this is it. This is the big threat. Like, he's like,
Well,
goes with
when
the
you
threat.
when you raise your hands and suddenly thousands of dead bodies rise with you, that's quite a flex, Callum.
Talk
Yeah,
about
it's
aura farming.
It's just like, look what I can do, man.
All right, and
But I'm sure he's also a bit surprised. Like, I mean, he obviously knows that John killed one of his lieutenants
Yes.
because thankfully Valyrian steel is revealed to be one of the few things that can kill White Walker.
As well as
So I
Dragon
bet
Glass,
like,
yes.
So I bet in that moment he's just like, well played, Night's Watchman.
Well played.
Game on.
Game on, yeah.
Yeah. And also Jon Snow was made Lord Commander Night's Watch, which he was actively betrayed for allowing the wildlings and a giant to come live by the wall.
For the Night
and
Watch.
was dead.
The Night Watch.
The Watch. No, for
Like,
the Watch. For the
God
watch.
damn it.
Oh, for the Watch.
I hated that scene.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I
like-
hate it for when it's season 6. I hate it.
Like, Night's Watch. You know the White Walkers are real. You know they are back. You know they can raise the dead. Whether you hate the wildlings or not, the more of them south of the wall, the less undead people you have to fight.
Well,
Like-
those
like,
Night Watch.
Do you
didn't
not
come
understand that?
with- Those Night Watch didn't come with them. It was only just the Night's Watch who were with Jon Snow. Those were the ones who always had it out for Jon Snow. Those were the ones who never came with them. So even if they could believe the truth, they told the truth, they wouldn't believe the truth. So
Hey, what's it matter?
and
Jon
know that
Snow
they-
gets resurrected shortly after in season 6 anyway.
yeah, that's why I hate about that he gets resurrected later. So the the Lord Commander is dead for now.
In the books, he is technically killed, but I'm sure that's what they're leading up to. That someone, whether it's Melisandre or Thorismir or like somebody is going to
Bring him back from the dead.
is going to
That's
resurrect
ironic
him in the
because
book. But I
George R. R.
imagine
Martin-
it's going to be very different.
Right.
No, that's ironic because George R. R. Martin hated Lord of the Rings because
Gandalf the
came
White,
back.
yeah.
He
it's
was
Gandalf the White.
he was actively. That's the one thing he hated about Tolkien's work that actively inspired him to make Game of Thrones. I mean, that's how he inspired. So to make him intentionally come back would make him even more hypocritical.
Naughty,
Egregiously
naughty,
hypocritical.
George. I mean, overall, whatever you think of the scene, our main problem, from what I gather, isn't the fact that Jon gets resurrected. It's the fact that it happens a bit too quickly in the long span of things, to the point where it seems kind of anticlimactic. There's not really much of a build-up of the possibility of, wait.
It's kind of the point, anyway. The whole
Yeah.
deconstruction. That's kind of the point.
Sometimes that deconstruction backfires, yeah.
I do wonder if that is part of the reason why, from that point onward, he just becomes completely reckless with his life, almost like he wants to die again, because he just makes stupid decisions
will get
where
to
he
that,
is only
Captain.
saved
We will
by
get to
plot
that.
arms.
One of
Tyler,
many
we'll get to
characters who make stupid decisions.
We will get
Yeah,
to that.
yeah,
We will
but
get to
but Jon Snow's decisions are like especially stupid.
Alright, let's get back to Daenerys' plotline. Let's wrap it up. So, Daenerys flies out of, like, Marine with Tyrion and the Jorah and that other guy, like, Jorah and the other guy goes hunt after Daenerys to bring her back. Well, Tyrion is given Marine. And so...
Yeah,
And also, the Daenerys reunites with the
Dothraki.
The
Dothraki,
Dothraki.
right.
They reunite.
And so now in the...
I think that concludes season
Season
5.
five.
That concludes.
So, throughout season 6, there's not really much to say on the Lannisters for now, because it's pretty much beating a dead horse with what we said already. But this has some other major events. One of my personal favorites being with Bran Stark and Hodor, especially. Hodor.
Yeah, and also,
Oh,
mind you, that
was
season
heartbreaking.
5 had no Bran at all. Bran was completely absent from season 5, and then brought back in season 6. And mind you, Bran was with the old man. Like, what was he called?
The Three-Eyed Raven.
The Three-Eyed Raven. Yes. So they were seeing a flashback of Ned Stark back at the time of Robert Baratheon, and Ned Stark, I shit you not, young Ned Stark is played by Elrond from Rings of Power. I shit you not.
Oh no.
Tyler,
Yeah.
let me recite that. I remember when Brooks brought this up. When Brooks brought this up to me, I'm gonna
play.
yeah. Bring it up. Yeah. Right. So
we already know about the problems with Rings of Power.
Yeah, but you can tell that he at least is somewhat a good actor. Like.
Oh yeah. I will say this. Here's something that you guys don't know about. He was also the main lead in a recent film called I Swear. I remember seeing the actor and thought, wait, is that how I think it is? I kid you not, Brooks. Like, him and one of the other actors in that movie, they were both in Rings of Power, and I thought, no. How could you?
Also, one last thing, Elrond and Galadriel both kissed each other and implied at some romantic relationship. You know what? Given that Elrond and Galadriel are is his aunt, you know, I should that's just like Jon Snow and Daenerys.
No. We are not going there. We're not going there yet.
I'm sorry, I had to.
Right, alright, play this clip. This is hilarious.
But yeah, I think that would be kind of funny.
Here we go.
That would be a funny gif. Like, okay, you bring that up, and then you have Lisa be like, "This cannot be Elrond, can it?"
Yeah. Basically, my reaction was, I was like, "Wait, I recognize this guy." Just play it.
Okay, all right.
Go back to the start. There's no sound in it.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, you told me in advance that the actor looked familiar, like, and you told me to brace yourself, and then I saw him, and I thought, wait, I think I know that guy.
So
that was me
going
saying.
back to this.
And
scene
look
George.
just look at the horror of his face. Look on the.
And then you told me who it was.
And yeah, just look at the horror of his face.
The sudden realization.
And then look what I did.
No, it can't be.
Dun. What do I do next? I just walked out the room.
Yeah, but by the way, Callum, I was well aware that you and Brooks hated the Rings of Power, but I never. But it wasn't until I saw a news article a while back where I found out that universities, like in particularly the one in Nottingham, is basically teaching people that
Lord of the Rings is too late to the hate. You're 3 years too late.
No, Brooks. This is a recent thing. Recently.
No. I'm not talking about that. I know it's recent. It's just that we already had the hate. There already was stuff like that, even before that article. So you're 3 years late to the hate.
Right.
I realized that. I mean, I knew that people hated the Rings of Power, and I knew people were hating on Lord of the Rings, but until I saw that article, I didn't realize that it was that bad.
Rings of Power sucks.
So I didn't fully understand the animosity you guys had towards it, but now fully get it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I mean, these actors deserve so much better. This actor who played Ned Stark,
except Galadriel.
Except Galadriel. Basically, the actor who played that one dwarf guy, he's also in I Swear, did amazing stuff. The guy who plays Ned Stark, he's the lead in I Swear. He is an amazing actor. He did his research on Tourette's syndrome. He's absolutely authentic. Amazing actor, deserves so much more.
Yeah. Even him as Ned Stark, he was pretty good as Ned Stark.
Yeah, well cast.
Yeah. Oh.
Yeah. I will say this is a while probably over choreographed. This is a very impressive fight.
Yeah.
Indeed. I also remember watching a lightsaber fight. Like they had like the lightsaber, like red.
Yeah,
or,
there's
like,
a
Targaryens get
YouTube
blue.
video where all the swords are given lightsaber looks and sound effects,
Oh
and you have
yeah.
I
the
also
Battle
love
of the
how
Heroes
yeah.
soundtrack playing in the background.
I
Yeah.
love
Really,
also Brand's look of like the romanticism of his father's fight just left him. Like like look at that. Like he's so disappointed on how brutal it is, and he's seeing
I
it.
mean, I'm a little confused by this. So, like, technically, Ned didn't really do anything wrong here. Howland Reed stabbed Arthur Dane in the back, and he hit him with a blow that he was gonna die anyway. Ned just kind of
Yeah.
put him out of his misery.
Finishing him off.
Is that really dishonorable?
Yeah.
Right.
So-
I mean, and by the way, in case you don't know, this is Arthur Dane. He's pretty much the greatest knight in history. Like, he could kill the entire Kingsguard one-handed, according to Jaime Lannister.
Is he the Knight of the
What did you
Seven
expect
Kingdoms?
was gonna happen?
Is he the Knight of the Seven Kingdoms? He's like the main character of that Knight of the Seven Kingdoms spinoff.
No, that is a completely different character.
Right.
But
Okay.
in the period of building up to Robert's Rebellion, basically Arthur Dane is like the MVP of sword fighting.
Nice.
And he died right there. All right, let's get on with Bran's plot line. So the Night King finds that he inevitably, and also he finds out the origins of the.
I've been meaning to ask about that. So apparently these eco ladies, I'm just gonna call them that.
They're called the Children of the Forest.
Thank you.
Yeah.
They were upset with this specific group of men who were taking down their trees, so they caught their leader, did this ritualistic thing where with the leader, he didn't want to go through that for obvious reasons. No one likes to get stabbed in the heart, but they did it in a specific way where it turned him into the Night King. And I have to think to myself, why would these women who, obviously want to kill them, why would they turn the guy into the Night King for him to kill them off later and doom the world? Why would they do that?
I think they thought that they could control him and that they could turn them and that they could turn them on their enemies.
Yeah, you just turned him into a god.
Like
You
even the
just turned
playing
him
field,
into a
but
god, basically.
obviously they lost control
Oh.
of them later on. It's like no, you're supposed to kill the humans. That's why I created you.
But yeah, it's a total Frankenstein's monster.
Oh, okay. I was always baffled by that. I just thought that seems kind of baffling.
Basically, Callum, look at it as playing into the idea that the created will always rebel against their creator.
Right, now it makes sense. Thank you so much. So, Bran went all this way to find the Three-Eyed Raven, who's going to teach him how to use this prophecy power that he's recently had, but unfortunately, time's running short.
He's like Leto the Second.
Yeah, Leto the Second.
Yeah, and yes, he basically, the Three-Eyed basically turns Bran into Paul Atreides from...
Or Leto the Second. I would say it's more
Super
Leto
two.
the Second. It's more Leto Second.
Yeah, that too. But Bran doesn't become more like Leto the Second until later on, after a certain someone holds the door.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes.
Hold the door!
Oh, man.
And that
Alive.
along with the Red Wedding was one of the big three shocking moments that George R.R. Martin guaranteed for this.
Absolutely.
And
absolutely.
that's fucked. Like, Bran basically ruined this poor kid's life.
Man alive.
And basically every time he said Hodor, he was basically living the moment he died, moment he was going to die until it actually happened. And then to make matters worse, he was probably resurrected after that.
Oh, yeah, with the becoming
See
one of the
why?
ice people.
Most likely that was the final breaking point for Bran. Not only has he lost his father, his mother, his brother, his entire home, like Winterfell's a rubble.
And his direwolf.
On his direwolf.
And his direwolf. And now he basically traumatized this guy for life, ruined him for life.
Man
Yeah.
alive.
Yeah, and then to add fuel to the fire, he ends up completely losing his entire personality after this.
Man
Yeah.
alive. I mean, I could go
And
on and
I
on
kind
about it.
of feel bad for the girl who was helping him with all this, Mira Reed.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
she's basically. I mean, it would have been kind of cliche if they had the two of them fall in love, I guess. But if you really think about it, Mira was doing everything for Bran.
Yeah,
She was
who
she
would-
was
yeah.
she was bringing him north of the wall. She was hunting for him, protecting him. Given that Bran,
Can't really move his legs.
given that he's paralyzed, she was probably even wiping his ass.
Oh.
Ooh.
Yeah,
yeah.
she was basically doing everything for this guy. And what does she get in return?
Steadily squid.
Absolutely nothing.
Well, unfortunately, Bran did lose his personality, so I think that he could. And honestly, she probably, if I'm glad she actually left by season 7, because honestly, at least she didn't live to see she didn't go to season 8. You know.
I honestly can't really think of any other big major events that happens in a season 6.
And also another guy, that dark elf guy from Rings of Power, that evil elf guy, who was the uncle of the Starks, who was the brother of Ned. Apparently
Benjen.
Benjen was guarding. Was with Bran after they escaped the Night King. So and he will come back in season 7 for some reason.
No.
I have no idea why he's still here. I have no idea.
The show basically took Benjen and made him into this mysterious guardian in the book of the Three-Eyed Raven, whose name is Cold Hands. He's basically some sort of like Punisher type protector of the Three-Eyed Raven, but nope, he's protecting Bran, guiding him to the Three-Eyed Raven at this point. But nobody knows who he is other than he was a Night's Watch him. So a lot of people theorized that it was Benjen sort of resurrected somehow, because the man is Cold Hands is technically dead.
Okay.
At least, like, with season 6 to 8 is more easier to talk about because all the plot lines nearly converge together.
Yeah.
So, let's talk about Jon Snow's plot line, shall we?
Yeah. So what happens to Jon next? He gets resurrected, leaves the Night's Watch.
Gets resurrected, leaves Night's Watch, and also, like, Sansa, who escaped from Ramsay's wrath and with Theon, and then comes under protection of Brienne of Tarth. And then
reunites with
you
Jon
guys
Snow.
are frozen.
Oh,
I'm not frozen.
I'm not frozen.
Oh, never mind.
Right.
All right, and then Sansa and Jon reunite, which that is generally one of the nicest things.
Yeah.
One of the nicest moments in Game of Thrones, where Sansa and because
especially
they were
considering they're the two Starks who had like the least connection to each other.
Yeah, and that they're finally reunited. That'll be the only connection that they know of. The only connection.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Given that they're nearly the last of their. Yeah.
And yet Sansa betrays him at every turn.
Good grief.
Yeah.
And yet.
Yeah. This was the part about Sansa's transformation that really freaking annoyed me. I mean, for one, it was nice to finally see her elevate beyond the naive girl persona, and that she's finally becoming
Now
more
she's a girl
confident,
boss. Girl boss. Getting there.
Whatever. But what I hate is that she's basically embracing all the lessons of the people who basically abused her for years.
Crying out loud.
Yeah.
Like she's basically become a combination of Cersei and Littlefinger.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it really bothered me.
Right.
So,
Because I
So,
honestly, by the end of it, like if Ned Stark could see what what his children have become,
You'd be sick of it.
after at the end of the story, at least at the end of the show's story, I don't think he would be very proud.
No.
Leto would probably say the same thing about his own children.
Right.
Yeah,
Two
I mean,
properties of
it's-
HBO Max.
what would Ned really think? I mean, his wife is dead. His eldest son is dead. His youngest son is dead.
Winterfell's rubble.
His well,
Yeah.
Winterfell is rebuilt, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Okay, not yet.
it does kind of become a pile of rubble
There's-
again. Bran is basically a mindless free wizard. Arya is a bloodthirsty assassin, and Sansa's like a discount Cersei Lannister now.
And okay,
And
well,
Jon is well,
Oh, we'll talk about him. We'll talk about
John's
it later.
probably the only one he would say, like, you know what? You did all right, boy.
And he knew that something about him that did not belong to him. We'll get to that. All right. So, one of the Stark children were found out with that other wildling lady who was at first a threat to Bran and Rob at the first season, who became a helper to them.
Asha.
Yeah. Sasha, she tried to fuck Ramsay, but then Ramsay got the best of her. Ramsay killed his father, and he held one of the last Stark heirs in his fingertips, and held up to ransom to get back Sansa, which Jon is not happy about. So he goes to war with him, and so Davos, now that he no longer serves. Oh, and we forgot to talk about season 5 that Stannis burned his own child alive.
We didn't have time to gloss over that, but I guess we're mentioning that now. That was messed up. That was.
Yeah, and Davos now serves Jon, because I actually like that Davos serves Jon. I do like that.
I mean, Davos is like the best wingman in all of.
Yes.
I mean,
And
whenever you're feeling down, one of his legendary pep talks just seems to get everyone back on track.
Yeah.
And
fantastic.
that wildling guy falls in love with Brienne. He really sits with her hard.
I mean, I knew that Brienne would never go for Tormund Giant Bane, whatever, but that smile that he gives her when they're about to leave Castle Black, and I'll discuss it. I can't help but laugh at that.
All right, let's get to the Battle of the Bastards.
Yeah.
I mean, the second Tormund sees her, sir, he's just like, "Oh my God, I'm in love."
You have a terrible taste in women because she looks near like a man. Okay. One more thing before we go.
Battle of the Bastards.
The Hound also goes from redemption arc. He joins the High Sparrow and tries to turn right around. It was also played by Ian McShane, who was Tai Lung, and then he died, and then he got revenge on the guys who killed him, and then joined the Brotherhood, who was the guy.
The Brotherhood without banner.
Yeah. And also Arya with her little training with she also saved the woman who played Cersei Lannister in the play, and that got her in trouble with the assassin, and then she killed her, and then the training was done apparently. Yeah, that was basically her training.
And she basically used her training to kill the guy responsible for the Red Wedding.
He baked his sons. She baked his sons into pies.
Yuck.
And then had him eat it.
Yuck.
And then she killed him.
If anybody deserves that, it's Walder Frey.
Yeah.
Look at it this way: Walder Frey, Tywin Lannister, Balon Greyjoy, and what was the other guy's name? Oh yeah, Randall Tarley. Are all basically like the top 4 worst dads in all of Westeros because of how much they care so much about their own reputation that they basically shit on their own children.
Oh yeah,
And it's
Sam
had
O'Tarley with
consequences.
that wildling girl. Sam
Yeah.
O'Tarley, like,
Yeah,
Right.
Sam
stole
ends
his
up.
father's
Sam
sword,
is
and
Sam is sent to the Citadel in the Reach to basically learn to be a maester.
Alright.
Alright. Now let's get to the Battle of Bastards. Let's talk
Yeah,
about the Battle of
let's
Bastards.
briefly go over this. So it's Jon Snow versus Ramsay Bolton. It's a really awesome fight. Really get you into that kind of medieval warfare. The guys surround each other. There's lots of clashing, lots of surrounding each other and fighting and stuff like that. Awesome, gritty stuff. Big spectacle.
Jon,
I mean,
despite
that's-
having minimal armor and no shield, somehow doesn't get hit by a barrage of arrows
And
multiple
also,
times.
I know it's impractical, but I love how he got stuck in that like barrage of men all like crammed into each
Yeah.
other.
And the giant does a surprisingly bad job of breaking through that barricade. Like, seriously, you couldn't have him just pull a fucking tree out of the ground and swing it at them?
You would think.
Oh, and also that one Stark kid
R.I.P.
died.
R.I.P. 1-1.
Alright.
Yeah.
And to make a
Oh,
long story
Ramsay
short,
killed that
yeah, one of the kids died, unfortunately. Sansa Stark brought him back up.
Rickon.
They beat Bolton, and eventually, they said...
They said that they couldn't get reinforcements, like, in order, like, until recently. I got my head. Since Sansa's such a bitch, I think she intentionally lied about her connection to the Vale. That she intentionally, at the last second, just to make her look cool enough. Instead of properly getting the Knights of the Vale together with the remaining Stark forces. Like, or the people with the Northerners who were, like, also that one kid from The Last of Us who was as, like,
Bella Ramsey, that's right, yeah.
Bella Ramsey, her too, like, who gave them that army, like, that they could have the Knights of the Vale from the start, which could have given them a better shot against Ramsey. So, I think it's
Again,
Sansa did that on
this
purpose.
This is why I don't like Sansa. She basically almost killed the only family she has left. Like, what reason does she have not to trust Jon?
Yeah, for crying out loud.
I think Sansa. I mean, I think Littlefinger was like, "I taught you well" when he came up, like when he was like, he was on the horse too. When he was like, "I've taught you well."
Pretty much.
I mean, the only good thing that really, thankfully, the Boltons are finally destroyed and the Starks get their home back.
Ramsay gets eaten by his own dogs.
Jon punches Ramsay in the face like 20 times, and somehow he still has a face.
It's the closest, honestly, to anything in the show where there's a clear. You know how I say that there's not clear good and evil? That was the closest in the show where the conflict was pure black and white. Like the bad guys were the bad guys, and the good guys were the good guys. I mean, they were seriously a wall titan house. Their house was a wall titan.
Yeah, Jon Snow is one of the noblest characters in the series, and Ramsay Bolton is just an outright jerk. So much so that he doesn't bother feeding his dogs for the purpose of his victims, but of course that backfires, so that they eat him, and Sansa arranged that. And so that's the finale of Season 6. And so
Actually, I know that Season 6 is controversial, but me and Calum actually consider this the last great season of Game of Thrones.
Even with the problems like Sansa Stark and the other iffy elements like the Battle of the Bastards, a few other notable scenes. I suppose there are a few highlights in Season 7, and maybe like one or two in like Season 8, but that's pretty much it. From here on out, it's mostly slop, unfortunately.
Season 6 is the most consistent to us. And also Cersei blows up the Sept and kills all the Tyrells and the High Sparrow, actively solidifying himself. Tommen is so spineless because he loved Marjorie that he killed himself. And Jaime shows up like, every time I'm gone, something horrible happens. Every time I'm gone. Every time.
And now Cersei is basically the evil queen.
The Lannisters are finally on the throne.
The only other thing I can really say about Season 6 is that it finally confirmed the oldest theory of the entire story.
Yeah.
The theory that D&D had to basically answer to George R. R. Martin's face for permission to adapt this into the story.
John is
the R plus L equals J theory, which basically confirms that John is actually the son of Rhaegar Targaryen.
Right.
I think it was kind of like it was. We didn't know who the father was, but we knew the mother was a Stark, so we knew that he was a legitimate. But we knew then that he was not the father, but his sister was the mother. So that means, but we didn't know exactly who was the father yet in the show until season 7.
This might be a bit of a controversial take, but I really never liked this theory.
All right.
I mean, because obviously it's going to come out in the end, but it just I always felt like it kind of ruined John's character development. Like, I mean, yes, he is seen as a bastard, but he eventually rises to become the Lord Commander of the Night's Watch, and he's well respected by a lot of people.
And the King of the North.
And the King of the North. But the fact that he rises that high, despite being seen as a bastard, is very admirable. It becomes less so when people find out that he's not actually a bastard, but a secret Targaryen prince.
Yeah.
And Targaryens are always built up as being better than the average person. So I've always felt like him being a secret Targaryen kind of destroyed that.
The point is that it's a deconstruct of Aragorn's character, since in a way he was born of Númenóreans, which are like the Tolkien version. I mean, no, the game A Song of Ice and Fire is the Valyrians, or the Targaryens are more like the versions of Númenóreans. So given that it's also supposed to be a deconstruction of Aragorn in a way, or Frodo, or both.
So since we're short on time, and
that was season 6. Now it's gone to season 7.
We're running short on time, so let's go over this quickly. I'll probably do the summary for this. So, in season 7, Daenerys finally reaches Westeros to help out with the conflict of dealing with the dead coming up from the north. Jon Snow and a few others are sent to hunt down at least one particular dead person as proof to back up the plan. Something goes awry, and it was kind of here that I felt, yeah, you're jumping the shark, because there's a bit where they're surrounded by hordes of the dead, and yet they somehow still fighting. They have lots and lots of plot armor.
And also the Baratheon bastard, the Robert Baratheon bastard showed up to
Gendry.
Gendry. And also Tyrion met Davos.
People theorized he was still rowing that boat away from Dragonstone.
Yeah, Davos was not pissed that he saw the guy who killed his son. Tyrion was responsible for the death of his son. And also Olenna reveals to Jaime that she killed Joffrey. And, of course, Cersei was fuming pissed!
Yeah.
That is a luxury that no one in the show could ever get. Not only, okay, that one Targaryen old guy, he died a peaceful death. Well, she died peace by her enemies. She was a great player of the Game of Thrones. So when you play the Game of Thrones, you either win or die. She won by dying peacefully.
Yeah.
In that
well,
way.
Bronn was right. The Queen of Thorns got one last prick in before she died.
She had the last laugh. And I just say, when she revealed that she was responsible for poisoning Joffrey, I responded, yeah, that makes sense. I just thought, I knew it. I knew it.
I was so pissed.
Yeah.
I was so pissed. Because I wanted to build it up for him to be completely surprised, but they kind of gave it away. They kind of gave it away.
I mean, I put the pieces together. I suspected Lady Olenna could have been behind it, so to have her confirm it, I thought, yeah, I knew it. I knew it. It's great little details there.
I mean, about the best thing that she said to Cersei before everything freaking blew up was when Cersei's trying to get her back on her side, basically saying like, "I'm sorry, I got your grandkids locked up with the High Sparrow. I fucked up," and Olenna basically just completely roasts her. Like,
Yeah, you
I
lost
think
your.
I think
You're
I
not
think you're the
queen, you're not
worst
queen.
person I've ever met, and honestly,
Yeah.
she's not far off.
No. Yeah.
Oh,
And
Just,
she was
just be,
telling that to Jamie. Yeah.
yeah, basically saying like, Cersei, you've lost. That's the only joy I can find in all
You're
this
not a
misery.
queen. You're not a queen. You lost your hair. You lost your dignity. You're not even a queen. My granddaughter's queen now. And speaking of which, but your sister has done things I was incapable of imagining. That was my prize mistake. The failure of imagination. She's a monster, you do know that. I do love her performance, like when he said "Widow's Wail." He really was a cunt, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And I wonder why didn't Joffrey name Widow's Wail after like Caitlyn Stark's death, like when she wailed before Robb Stark dying, because that was a Widow's Wail.
because he really
Yeah.
was.
I,
So yeah,
I don't know. Joffrey does things just to piss people off and
Yeah.
to
No,
and
why
to
did
hurt
he
them.
intentionally do that? Because I knew he would, but he didn't even thought of that. All right, let's wrap up season 7. Like, Jon and Daenerys, yeah.
and one of her
Yeah.
dragons becomes a part of the dead army, and they breach the wall. So yeah,
Yeah,
there's that.
which by the way, given that Benjen mentioned that the wall is magical and the dead cannot cross it while it's intact, basically, the White Walkers had no way of getting past the wall without that dragon.
I know it's dumb, but
Which basically seems to suggest that basically not killing them when they were stuck on that little island, Linda, and
Yeah.
it basically implies like they were waiting for the dragons to come, like
Wait a
that
minute.
whole thing was a trap.
Wait a minute. The White Walkers couldn't get past the wall by some magic?
Yeah, but when as Bran and Mira are being escorted back south of the wall by Benjen, Benjen tells him that he basically says that there are magic enchantments built into the wall that the dead are unable to cross it of their own volition. It's also explained. It's
they-
why
well,
it's
even
also,
if there
it's
weren't
also why
any
he says he
enchantments, they
can't go
probably
back.
don't have any
dead
climbing
as
tools
well.
anyway.
Right,
Don't have
they-
any climbing tools.
They can't even like get through the gate that the people in the north use to get into the.
Apparently so. So basically, they're implying that they kind of needed the undead dragon in order to destroy the wall.
There was a plan that
so they could do that. Yes, it's
there-
full of plot holes, but
Right. Yeah. We're a bit short on time. I'll discuss them another time. But
And Galadriel and Elrond basically wet dream with Daenerys and Jon, because given that Jon's aunt is Daenerys, just like Elrond's aunt is Galadriel, basically that's what Rings of Power wish that would happen.
So nice of Bran to reveal that to Sam.
Sam, yeah.
Right. So over the course of season 8, Jon finds out his. Jon finds out his true lineage, and then he in turn reveals.
Let's be honest. The Jon and Dany hookup was basically inevitable. I mean, the way the two of them were looking at each other every time they were on screen is like,
It's a bit rushed.
How long until
they bang? Yeah.
Yeah, the Targaryen forces are now in Winterfell, and they have to feed all the.
Right.
What did the greatest army had to feed? What did dragons eat anyway?
I've got about 20 minutes left. Let's make this quick.
So,
what did dragons eat?
Okay.
Whatever the hell
and
they want.
the long night finally came, and it was only lasted 2 hours. A long night. Even though, don't get me wrong, the effects, the entire production value of it is absolutely golden. It beats out any movie that came today. It makes them all look to shame, like with how absolutely incredible it is.
Man.
Tactically,
also-
tactically, it's an absolute mess.
Yeah,
I mean,
Jamie also
people
being
saying
there,
it rivals.
turning
People
on
saying it
Cersei-
rivals the Helm's
turning on
Deep battle
Cersei.
are just bloody delusional.
Right.
Also, Jamie.
And oh yeah, both Jon and Daenerys have been talked about as being the prince that was promised, the one who will destroy the White Walkers and bring an end to the long night and bring spring again. And Daenerys spends that moment crying over the dead body of her friend zone Jorah. Jon spends
And
it
the Red Woman
yelling at
dies.
an undead dragon, and
Arya
pulls
Stark
her
is the
back.
one that kills the Night King, despite it being implied that Jon is meant to be the one to do it.
Yeah, Jon is supposed to be the one, implied to be the one to do that, and he spends that moment yelling at an undead dragon.
The finality. The long night should have been the final, not with Daenerys, taking the Iron Throne. I know it's been building up to it, but honestly, it should have been the reverse.
Right.
If anything.
It should have been I've heard of one particular retelling which sounds so much more thematically fulfilling, which went like this, like, the White Walkers become too powerful, they all have to retreat, Daenerys has to burn a battle that the White Walkers don't catch up, then the battle happens at King's Landing where it was meant to be, and then hijinks ensue and stuff like that, big epic battle, but eventually they defeat the White Walkers with some sacrifices on the way, and Jon and Daenerys make amendments, and then someone is meant to be the true heir to the throne, and bam, happily ever after. Well, that's happily ever after for a bleak story, but still, that is much more thematically fulfilling. Oh man.
Yeah, Callum. The only true thing that Ramsay Bolton ever said was, "If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention."
All right. So, the last of the Starks and Bells they are attacking King's Landing with basically little to none of their forces left. The Dothraki were apparently extinct. The Unsullied are little. Okay, at least in episode 4, at least that's somewhat the same with like the Unsullied being cut in half.
Don't even talk about the episode 4. Like,
yeah. Oh
like
yeah, and Jon
4,
Snow.
in one swift move, Euron Greyjoy, who in this show is basically a discount Jack Sparrow, does more damage to Daenerys than the Night King did all season.
Yeah, and also Jon revealed to the Starks that he was the Targaryen, which was glossed over. They did it off screen, and at this point, they're basically Lannisters. I wish they did that on purpose. You know how, like, in Dune, where the Atreides end up more like Harkonnens? If only they did that intentionally instead of half-assedly.
In case you couldn't tell, this is the moment when the show by this point the show is just bottom of the barrel awful. There's characters.
Alright, the next episode...
It was a soap opera at that point.
Yeah. Let's get this over with. Alright, the bells... Daenerys absolutely destroys King's Landing for some reason.
Yeah,
That one chick who died in episode 4, the one who was killed by Cersei, and that was the reason King's Landing had to die instead of Cersei. At least destroy the Red Keep, or at least destroy the tower where Cersei is at. At least do that.
Well, at least we got Clegane Bowl out of it. At least we got the Mountain versus the Hound.
Yeah.
Dumb in itself. It was dumb in itself.
Oh man, I mean,
he should have been dead.
Which was pointless anyway because the Mountain was already dead.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. All right, let's get to the last one, shall we?
Yeah. The Iron Throne.
Oh yeah, what was the dumbest thing about that? Oh yeah, they made Bran king of the Seven Kingdoms. Why?
Because he has prophetic powers?
Half of these people don't even know who he is.
Dune. Okay, no spoilers for God Emperor of Dune and Children, but Leto the Second did this better. That eventually he would become king or God Emperor because of his memory. Like, ugh. It's like as if they did a half-ass version of what Frank Herbert did his story. Like, and Daenerys was flown away instead of like Viserys literally just killing Jon Snow for killing his mother. He destroyed the Iron Throne, and Jon was defending Daenerys. I don't know. You don't know, you goddamn moron. You don't know why.
You know nothing, Jon Snow.
You really do know nothing, Jon Snow! I was gonna say that, yeah.
No, Aegon Targaryen. Jon Targaryen now. That's what I call him, Jon Targaryen. Alright. Well, Jon, whoopsies, Daenerys.
Pretty
Not
much.
sex whoopie, the other kind of whoopie with a knife in her.
Stab.
And then, oh, she's dead. Done. And, okay. Jon Snow is in capture. Grey Worm's like, whatever. Even though you killed my queen, whatever. Bygones be bygones. Also, Jon says goodbye. Now he's Jon Snow again. Goodbye to his Starks, and it's really like the deconstructed version of the Grey Haven scene, where
Yeah.
yeah.
It's what I mentioned before about Jon and Sam periling Frodo and Sam, because while Sam in the end gets some prestige, he gets the girl, he gets a happy life, but Jon is basically traumatized from everything, and he basically goes back to the Night's Watch and goes north because his time there was it's really just some of the.
I guess
it's the
he's
only
king
place
of
where
the
he
north
had
now in the Wildlings.
But that then begs the right. I mean, that then obviously begs the question: if the White Walkers are gone, what's the point in going to the Night Watch now?
Yeah,
because
Sansa,
as Tyrion said, if there will always be a place needed for bastards and outcasts, even though it's now in a part of Westeros that has basically decided, fuck you, we're our own kingdom now.
Yeah, Sansa is now Queen of the North, and Arya goes to whatever fuck she wants, and Jon just... There's like this moment where there's like spring coming back, implying that Jon Snow did bring back spring, like with the leaves growing up. But still, yeah, that was a missed opportunity. And then Game of Thrones fucking ends.
Man alive! I mean, you have to take into consideration that Game of Thrones had all these story beats, all these character arcs, all these thematics.
My punishment to George R. R. Martin is that since you couldn't finish Winter, you couldn't finish A Song of Ice and Fire, this is the ending of Song of Ice and Fire in my mind. This is the ending of it. At the Bran of Bywater, who is now Master of Coin and ruler of Highgarden. And Dad was like, motherfucker, what?
Oh, yeah.
That was the best part of that.
Yeah.
Like,
Didn't Bronn say in season 2 that he doesn't know how debts work? I've never borrowed money before. I'm not clear on the rules.
They're doomed. They are doomed.
They are doomed.
But no, we had to give Bronn a castle, otherwise Tyrion would have gotten a crossbow bolt to the face.
And A Song of Ice and Fire was named after the story. Oh, great boy! A Song of Ice and Fire was said by Samuel Tarly.
Because he said, because maybe it should be something a little more poetic. And why is he? He hasn't even completed his Maester training. Why is he the Grand Maester now?
Oh, for crying
out loud! I don't know, Tyler.
Oh my days! You'd think that if these showrunners were really in a rush to get it done,
that was a disaster, like Stewie said in that one Christmas episode with, when Brian and Stewie go to North Pole. That was a disaster.
You'd think if the showrunners were in a rush...
It's a horror show.
Yeah, you think if the showrunners were
Not in the best way. Not
yeah,
like
yeah.
how it used to be.
Exactly. You think if the showrunners
I mean-
were you'd think if the showrunners were in a rush, the least you would expect with them is to have the characters make decisions that make sense.
Which is somewhat George R. R. Martin's fault. It was somewhat George R. R. Martin's fault because, he couldn't Yeah, if only he continued writing, then none of this bullshit would be happening. Because the showrunners would have material to continue, right?
But not only does George R. R. Martin like to take his time, he also doesn't like to stick to a plan when he writes.
So it's almost like it's entirely your goddamn fault, George Martin. If you have a Game of Thrones, in a Game of
I
Thrones,
mean, the only thing I can say about it is
Nostalgia
Hey,
Critic.
here's this.
Yeah.
Across the room,
He's paying homage to Nostalgia
You're
Critic's
talking
review
about
of Suicide Squad.
I
just to
drink
sell the
your
dope, yeah.
milkshake. I
Yeah.
picked it up.
It's stupid. There's a stupid. Even Lego Batman said it was stupid.
That was stupid.
Yeah.
It's a kid's film. Even
Yeah,
you said I was
kid's
gonna
film.
sit around
Yeah,
here and
quoting
think about
Nostalgia
you're
Critic.
freaking wrong. You freaking idiot.
I'm a Nostalgia Critic. I remember it, so you don't have to. You're done.
you okay, Brooks?
Yeah, I'm finished.
But yeah, after all this, it's not too hard to see why people are like, nope, no, this was stupid. Go back and rewrite the fucking script.
Yeah.
You know, at this point, you could probably do AI with this. Like, somewhat, okay. You could take the original version of it, edit together in a way that's better, and do AI for the wish fulfillment. Like, you could have, have different aspects, like the Night King winning, King's Landing being invaded. And honestly, it would be much better than what we got. Like, even Tyrion killing, he said that he would actually like the idea of him being a zombie if he could kill Cersei. Imagine seeing that AI, at least, somewhat. Hell, you can do so many aspects with AI. That's probably the beauty of this. At least you can make it amend it. That's the baddest part.
Yeah.
You have to use AI to make amends for that.
Man alive.
I mean, how do you guys feel about the ending of the Game of Thrones? Do you feel angry?
Well-
Do you feel conflicted?
I feel angry at George R. R. Martin. I feel angry at him. Because I
Right.
blame him for the ending.
Yeah.
I suppose I should
And
try
I
and.
deem it-
Here's the main question you should ask about why it failed. George R. R. Martin's biggest influence for all of his writing is basically the human heart in conflict with itself.
Right.
Do you feel that? Do you feel that at the end of this story?
It's thematically appropriate.
No, God, no.
Yeah. If you don't feel that, then the message has failed, because that's basically what George R. R. Martin uses for everything.
Yeah, the sub-creation, you're now aware that it's no longer a value. Like Tolkien would said, it's the sub-creation. That once it's failed, the magic is faded, and now you realize what's in front of you.
There you have it.
Yeah.
I think we should end on it there, probably.
Yeah, I'm running short on time, and
Yeah.
that's a good way to end it.
All right. Well, this is our
Talking about
Game
the
of
ending
Thrones
Starting to
podcast.
get a little too
and
emotional for us.
our thoughts.
It-
So, yeah, it was emotional for me enough.
It's been a few years since I've seen the ending, and I'm still mad
We
about
just
it.
saw it recently. Like we finished it a month ago.
Yeah.
You two did. I finished watching it years ago, and I'm still.
I only
pissed
seen
about it.
seasons 1 and 7 and 8. I've only seen. Now I've seen the full series, like with Cal.
I had never seen a single episode of Game of Thrones up until this year. It was thanks to Brooks. He insisted that I watch the whole thing just to catch up with the culture. And I think viewing the show overall, it definitely has its strong points. Like, for a good portion of the show, it would gain a lot of acclaim for its immense dark world building, its themes, its very strong character writing, and which permeated throughout the series. But man, oh man, the character arcs and other intriguing elements that made the show so intriguing just got thrown out the window, especially by the ending of Game of Thrones, and man, it stifles the whole experience to the point where people just hesitate to rewatch it, because even back in its what they deem to be like the golden age of Game of Thrones, back in the back of their heads they're thinking it's gonna lead up to that stupidity.
Yeah.
Which is
It's a shining example of how a bad ending can ruin what was a good show.
pretty much. May we learn from this and learn for their own story writing. Plan in advance.
Question for both of you. Now that I know you've both seen a song, have either of you seen House of the Dragon?
Not yet.
Not yet. Not yet.
Good.
Is it bad?
No, it's not bad. It's decent.
I've heard it's pretty good. Pretty good.
I heard season 2 is bad.
It
I heard season-
improves. The main thing about House of the Dragon is that the story it's based on has a lot of ambiguity to it. It's based on characters that are pretty much biased or unreliant. So some of the plot lines that they say happened are kind of unreliable. So
I
Unreliable
heard
narrator.
season 2 was terrible, though. I heard.
I'm sorry, what was that?
He heard season 2 of House of the Dragon was terrible.
Yes.
Well, I would say the way they ended it was pretty bad. But to give
Was it on par with- yeah.
to give credit to the show writers, season 1 was cut short because of the pandemic, and season 2 was cut short because of writer strikes. They're
Yeah,
working. They've got 2 more seasons to go. Season 3 will be out. Should be out sometime next year.
Yeah,
but
it's season.
they're
There's
hoping
season 3. Yes.
that nothing stands in the way this time.
Yeah. Okay, I give it that it wasn't the last season, and they're also that. All right, and that was a wire strike. All right, this was Game of Thrones with the RagnCanadian and ScotsThinker and Squidbear. So.
Thanks for watching.
Hope you enjoyed.
Oh,
Thanks
yeah.
for watching. We'll see you again soon.
Thanks for watching. Thank you very much.